Welcome, one and all, to the live stream madness edition of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew, joined by the usual cohorts. This could be fun tonight because we have Dave, who his daughter has already warned me good luck. So on the other side of the screen, we have Dave there. Opposite corner to me, we have Jeff, and then underneath we have Belle. So good to see you all, and make sure you jump in the comments, say hi, let us know what you're doing, all the usual stuff. We have a lot to get through tonight. We're going to do, because we missed last week, apologies for that. Things happen. We all have lives, and we don't get paid to do this. We have day jobs as well, so we have to sort of make sacrifices where and when we have to. So we'll make up for it by doing a double battle this week. So we're going to do AC/DC versus Daath, and then also Iron Maiden versus Alice in Chains. That's a double header battle tonight. We have 2 rounds of Hot Rocks to get through. We have Carmeria, which is tonight's backyard banger. We have Build a Collection from 85 going on. I've got the game tonight, and I've got something different we haven't done before, so hopefully it goes well. Otherwise, it's going to be fucking flat. And then we have the new segment, which belongs to Dave this week, which is Ghost with Skeleta. There we go. Dave's already very, very excited. There are references to the music we're checking out in the description. Unless you're watching on Facebook, you have to tune into the comments for that one because Facebook's silly, won't let me put the links in there. But yeah, this is it. If you do leave comments, make sure you leave us a reference point to what you're talking about in case we move on too fast. We don't read all the comments. We try to do the best we can, but there sometimes can be a lot. Always, here's something different here. Not different. Question of the day is, this is an interesting one. It's based on a few things going on behind the scenes, but what genre of music irritates you most these days? That's
boy.
That's the question of the day. So let us know.
Easy, anything with core in it.
Yeah, I know, pretty much. That's figured. Based on previous conversations, I might have a bit of fun with that one. But also, Jody says hello to everyone as
hey, Jody.
always.
Hi, Jody.
In the other room saying hello. Hello. There we go. All right. Quick comments here. Kat's here. Evening all. Good to see you, Kat. Hopefully well. So Michael, good evening. Other Michael, hey all. Jolie's here. Hi, party people. And Edge Crusher, good to see you as well. Saying hello all. Make sure you say hi. Get in the comments.
No one else?
Not yet, but we've got people watching.
Come on, people.
Get in the comments. Have fun. All righty. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of Hot Rocks to kick things off and get stuck straight into things. So we had last week's one set up ready to go, and then we always did another poll in Patreon and so on and so forth. If you want to get involved in this, you have to be in a part of our Patreon group. But the new songs that went into the playlist last week were Alone with the Gods, Help, Black Majesty, Dragon Lord, Dangerous Curves, Dancin' Dirty, The Dead Daisies, Light 'Em Up, Empress and Aces with The Greater Plan, Freeze the Fall, Oubliette, Inglorious Dead Inside, Mark Morton Without the Pain, The Meantimes Already Done, and Sammy Hagar, Encore, Thank You, Good Night. Those are the new songs. But from before that, we had, oh God, here we go. Terry's here. Good to see you.
Terry.
Michael's gone, geez, Dave, so you don't even like hardcore porn music. There we go. And Soul Design, good to see you. I think your first time comment, maybe. I like Volbeat. A lot of us like Volbeat. You're not alone there. So
Volbeat are awesome.
Volbeat are awesome. Well, funny enough, they'll get a bit of a mention tonight too, because the top 10 results from last week were coming in. Number 10, we had Fading Hour with Out of Nowhere. Number 9 was Volbeat in the Barn of the Goat and so on. Number 8 was Fading Hour, Leave It All Behind. Number 7 was Dead Daisies with Boom Boom. Number 6 was Leverage with Shooting Star. Number 5, Those Damn Crows, The Night Train. Just kept on rolling on, which then brings us over to the top 4 as we always do. And we'll start giving our little thoughts on these as we go. So number 4 this week, nominated by Elliot, assigned to Belle. This is Primal Fear with Far Away. I guess I should put a link in the comments just for a bit of fun here. There we go, folks. It's in the description box for those not on Facebook too. But yeah, like I was saying, nominated by Elliot, assigned to Belle. This is the lead single from the German metal veteran band, upcoming their new album, Domination, set for release September 5th, 2025. According to the band, it's an expression of faith and trust, no matter where or what. We all know this feeling of missing someone so much, not being able to see or hear him or her every day, especially as musicians whilst touring. Like I said, good enough to take out number 4 spot this week. Let's get Belle's thoughts on this song. How'd you go?
I mean, it's power metal, isn't it? Sounds like power metal to me. Yeah. What can you say? Like it pushes along at a fast pace, vocal melodies soar, there's a shredding solo, there's a grandeur to it all. As far as power metal songs go, it's a good one. So if you're into this genre, you're gonna love it. Did it blow my mind and suddenly make me a big power metal fan? No, it didn't.
Speaking of irritating genres.
But for what it was, I'd say it was near perfect, and I give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Surprise,
There we go.
surprise.
Done very
Yeah.
well. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down from the rest of us. 2 thumbs up from me. I like this one a lot.
Oh,
It's very cool. Yep. So there we go. Got love all around. So there, from that, we move over to the next song. But Sean, our good friend Sean from over in WA. G'day, legends. Good to see you, man.
Hey.
Hopefully things are going well over there on the other side of the country. But yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping in. Next up is Temple with What You Are. Again, link in the description and in the comments, folks. This is the next one. So this was originally added as a top-up song. It ended up being assigned to me randomly, and it shot up after some late votes came through for this one. This is the debut single from a group of Aussie musicians well known on the local scene. It features Voya, Jared Marsh, Clea Freeland, and Matt Piper. Took number 3, was assigned to me, like I said, so I'm going to go through it now. And this was one of those ones that's a surprising little find. And it's another one of those bands. We had our last live stream. We all had a bit of a gripe about, bands having shit bios. These guys are definitely guilty as charged. But anyway, according to the band, quote unquote, they're a sacred group of pals that simply attempt to birth decent tunes. And to that, I would say mission accomplished. It took the briefest moments to hook me, but once it did, I was captivated. It just took half a second, but once it sort of gets you, it takes you along for the ride. It's been a long, long time since I've heard Clea's vocals. She used to be in Rocket Queen way back in the day for the Melbourne scene veterans there. Yep. Done other things too with Fleetwood Mac shows and stuff like that. She's a fantastic vocalist, and I'm so glad we have this song on record from her. The dual lead vocal between her and who I assume is Jared it just works wonderfully well between those two. There's a lot of soul in this song, something that I feel is missing a bit in music today as well. I thought there was a bit of a refreshing change of pace. It's not a complicated song per se, but in that there's this real charm to it. This is all about the writing and the performances, and on that front, it's absolutely fantastic. It builds nicely. It rocks out when it suits the song to do so. It's not the heaviest, but it's not the softest song either. It's somewhere in the middle there. But there's some exceptionally tasty lead work all over this as well. Great tones. Voya usually does a great job mixing things, and this song is no exception there. This one sparkles, but it's also really warm. It's one of those that has plenty of kick, but also feels like a nice warm hug when you listen to it. In a lot of ways, that kind of sums the song up as well. There's something about this that just drags you in and just does not let you go. I love the lyrics. I love the groove. It's undeniable on that front. And it's got a really damn good hook in the chorus too, which just tops it all off. It's one of those tracks that could actually be commercial and be on radio in the best possible way. We know it won't happen in this country, but it's one of those songs that could cut through comfortably. Easy to repeat spin. I love the layering in this one as well. There's a lot to take in. And this is the perfect sort of cup of coffee on a crisp winter morning kind of a song. It just hits right. And if this is just
That's
the start,
fucking beautiful, man.
Thank you. But if this is the start for these guys, then bring on more. I hope this is a sign of things to come. They say they wanted to birth decent tunes. They nailed it. Got my 3 votes on that week, and so I was more than happy to go over it. If you like your rock with a bit of kick, a bit of depth, a bit of soul, and a bit of groove, this is definitely for you. 9 shots from me. I love this one. So hopefully everyone else did out there as well. But let's do the rounds. How'd you all go with it? Thumbs up, thumbs down, horns. Bell in the middle. Jeff up.
Voya from Bad Moon Born?
Yes.
And Jared Marsh. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I didn't know any of that shit. I was going to thumbs down this strictly on principle because they had fuck all on Spotify. I didn't know shit about this band, but because now I know, it gets the horns up. But for God's sake, people, you're fucking better than this. Put some fucking info on Spotify. Otherwise, you get a fucking thumbs down because I'm sick of this shit. Promote your band. Yes. Come on, you guys. You know better than this.
It's part of the game, isn't it? You have to do it.
But yeah, the song is fucking great, but you'll get lost in the crowd. I Googled Temple. There's a UK band called Temples. That's all you'll find. You're going to get lost in the crowd. Don't.
Yep.
Too fucking good for this shit.
It's important to get it right.
Indeed.
Yep. Nice. All right, we did a nice little round table there. Bell in the middle somewhere, and David is here as well, saying g'day all. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're having a good week out there too. We're back after a week off. Alrighty. Next up is the track Voyager put out, which is called Seen Better Days. I nominated this one actually. It was assigned to Dave. This song sees the return of the Perth band, which is funny because we got Sean here as well, actually, on that note, after an 18-month hiatus while vocalist Danny has been going through major health battles. About the song, he says, difficult times yield dark music. It won't come as a surprise that Seen Better Days is a personal account of the 18 months of hell through chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery that I've endured. Embracing the beautiful love and support I have received from friends, family, and fans, while often putting on a brave face in the horrid abyss of stage 4 cancer, is no easy feat. So I felt it was right to put it to words and music. Somehow, as brutally vulnerable as the song is, it still maintains an uplifting melancholy, and despite its crushing ending, manages a breath of optimism through the bleakness. After all, life is beautiful. This track took out number 2 spot this week. Like I said, assigned to Dave. So let's throw it over to you.
Yeah, that blurb is fucking perfect. This is an amazing song. Voyager are an interesting band. They're hard to class into a particular genre. Prog works well, but the word prog gets thrown around way too much these days for anything that's slightly different to the genre that you conform to. But this band is truly capable of performing anything, multiple different styles, and they do it really well, and they write good songs. I like the album that they released a couple of years ago, and I really shouldn't have because it's way outside of my usual taste. I thought, but it was just too good to ignore. It was it was really good. And it was sad to learn about the singer Danny Estrin's cancer diagnosis. So that kind of brought coming off Eurovision, brought everything to a crushing halt. But obviously he's come through that, but God knows what he went through in these 18 months. And obviously he said that in that spiel, and you can feel it in this song. These lyrics are really poignant. Right from the opening moment, it's just pretty much a little bit of music, but those vocals just come straight out and grab you with these amazing words. The vocal performance starts subtly, and it gets more powerful as it goes along. Lyrics are both painful and vulnerable, but they're also inspiring. It's always moving forward and taking the next step in life, regardless of what you get kicked in the nuts with. Both musically and lyrically, it goes through moments of euphoria and defiance to moments of despair and uncertainty. The mood changes quite a lot in these 4.5 minutes. I get a massive Queen vibe out of this, like later Queen when Freddie knew he was sick. Yeah, I could actually picture Freddie doing this song, or vice versa. It's fucking great. In fact, it gets better with each listen. First listen, I was just like, it's kind of out of my wheel, and then I just got more and more engrossed with what these lyrics are about. Music video is fantastic too. It's basically a studio performance, but there's an emotive weight in his lyrical performance. But yeah, I give us 9 shots. It's fucking outstanding.
Nice. Yeah, no, I got your vibe there, Dave, where I could imagine this big. It's on the same page as sort of the show must go on from Queen, as far as I'm concerned. So
exactly.
We'll do the rounds. I'm fucking massive horns up for me. I loved this song to bits. Yeah. All right. Love all round on this one, which is good. Yeah. Hard to ignore a song that powerful as far as I'm concerned. Vinny's here. Evening Hall of Famers. Hope you're all keeping warm, just as I'm about to, by tucking into a nice warm mushroom meal an ex-girlfriend kindly prepared for me. Well played.
There we go.
Well played,
nice.
Vinny. Back to the previous song. Sean said, loved that Voyager is such a gun. This is true. Vinny, though, says, love this Voyager song. Definitely a track that's unlike anything I can compare it to in recent years. It's very good to see. He's gone, what's Daath? I'm not sure what it translates to, but it's a different band from another part of the world. But Sean says, they smash it here, but haven't gripped me yet. Good track, though, so when it comes to Voyager. And Vinny says, great comparison, Dave. Very eclectic from end to end with that one there as well.
Vinny was right with it. Nothing compares recently. It's got a very old school vibe to it.
It's a tricky song there. All right, one more to go to for this round, which is Harem Scarum with Chasing Euphoria, nominated by Ula, assigned to Jeff. This is the title track from the Canadian Icons' latest album, released April 2025. It's their first new album in 5 years. This has come with a fair bit of anticipation as a result of that. The band recently announced a tour with Melbourne's own Cassidy Paris as well, so well done all around there.
Yeah.
This took number 1 spot this week. Jeff, you have the call, which is actually kind of fitting considering that you're a countryman. So over to you.
Yeah, I was.
I'm not your buddy guy.
I was. Sorry, that's funny. I was actually really blown away. I couldn't believe that I landed in my lap to do Harem Scarum because I really like these guys, and I've liked.
Well, he's muted himself. He's that excited.
He's speechless.
Can you hear me?
You're okay now, yeah.
Wow, that's weird. Okay, well, sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, I have seen them live. At Harem Scarum. I've seen them actually play in my hotel, which is very cool. We used to have a place there called the Doctor's Hotel. DOCTERS. Yeah, because it was anything from fucking Doctor. It was a strip bar upstairs too. Great. Anyway, but very cool. And these guys are very, very good. And like I said, I've liked them for a long, long time. So getting the chance to listen to something new, I was excited. And I had heard this song a while back. They released it. And then I went and listened to the album. The album just blew me away as well. Really well done. Very well done. The production on it is spot on. It's just, it pops. Everything is just great. Harry Hess's vocals haven't changed. He's the same. Great singer. He plays rhythm guitar as well. They don't mention it, but he does. Just a really, this kind of modern sound. You know what? It's funny because I listened to them, and then after this album, I'm obviously talking about the song, but after listening to the album, like, they've reminded me of somebody. And you know who it is? They remind me of Sister's Doll. They've got a very, very similar. And to be honest, I don't think this new album is actually as good as Sister's Doll, but it is good. It is very, very good. So that was really. I actually put it in the Discord chat thing for people to have a look at, and I said, hey guys, check these out. They're great. If you like Sister's Doll, you're gonna like this. And I don't know if anyone did, but yeah, I can't. I'm gonna this because I really, really enjoyed it. It got stuck in my head. That song, Chasing Euphoria, the chorus just gets stuck in your head. And I woke up the other day and it was like in my head. I woke up and I was singing Chasing Euphoria. So that's kind of cool. I really like it. Like I said, I would have said, hey, I can't wait to hear more from them, but I've already done that. So the new album is really, really good. And the first album since 2019 or 2018. So it's good. I really like it. So hope that everyone out there likes it as well, because it's can you tell I like it? Anyway, Euphoria. So for me, it's 2 thumbs up.
Nice.
So horns, the whole bit, whatever.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, we'll do the rounds again. I like this one a lot, so this one was very cool. That hook is fucking impressive for me. Okay, everyone's enjoying this one, so
fucking great song.
Yeah, big hook, massive fucking hook. Hard to get that. You can't get it out of your head once it's done. Seriously,
that's right. It is truly.
Yep. Michael's gone Voyager track is great. 9 shots. Nicely done there. Vinny says, bravo for your Harem Scarum on nomination, Ula, which is credit all around to Ula putting it forward. But Vinny says, I could see both his hands and wonder what he muted himself with, just to keep things interesting there.
I don't know.
Rely on Vinny to bring the A game to proceedings tonight. And Hard Music, good to see you. G'day all. Hope you're all happy and healthy. We're doing well.
Hey.
Hopefully you are as well. Good to see you as always. Which brings us now to round 2. We have round 2 to go through. So these are the new songs that are going to go into Tastemakers probably tonight as we get out of the stream here. We have Battle Beast with Last Goodbye from Michael, Big Red Fire Truck with Tokyo Karaoke Bar, Bush 60 Ways to Forget People from Vinny, Devil Skin.
Bush, are they still around? Fuck.
Michael, yeah, they're still around.
Jesus.
Drew Cagle and The Reputation, Bad Attitude from Ula, so we'll see if that one goes as well. We have Carly Jewel with Other Side, Love Hate with Over the Edge from Elliot, Nesta, In the Name of Rock and Roll from Jolie,
cool.
Rebel 9 with End of Soul from Kat, and I put forward Stone Trip with their new single Fame, which is released the other day. That's what's going to be in the new playlist tonight or tomorrow. Which brings us to the rounds for what made 10 through 1 for this new week as we go through things where we actually are at this point in time. So coming in at number 10 was last week's number 1. So what we just did was Harem Scarum Chasing Euphoria came in number 10. Sammy Hagar with Encore Thank You Good Night came in number 9. Mark Morton Without the Pain came in number 8. Black Majesty Dragon Lord came in number 7. Freeze the Fall Oubliette is next, but we'll go just quickly skip a couple of things here because Volbeat in the Barn of the Goat jumped up a couple of spots to go to number 5 this week, so it's still doing the rounds. It's going to be the next bloody Those Damn Crows. I have a funny feeling with that song. And number 4 was Voyager with Seen Better Days. That was number 2 last week, number 4 this week, so it's hanging around pretty nicely as well. Which brings us to the pointy end of proceedings here, which is the next song to talk about, which is, again, fitting because it's Canadian with Canadian. We have Freeze the Fall with Oubliette, nominated by Michael, assigned to Jeff, This is the latest offering from this young Canadian three-piece we've been following, courtesy of Michael, for a little while now. This is from the upcoming EP, The Red Garden, due June the 18th, 2025. It's the fourth highest new song in Hot Rocks this week, so they came in number 6. Let's go to Jeff. How'd you go?
All right, let me just set the record straight. It's pronounced Oubliette. It's French. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
And what it is if you, I know, eh? I know. All right. If you didn't know, it's a medieval torture device. Essentially, what it is a pit in the ground or in a building with only one exit. So imagine like a 50-foot drop that's only big enough to stand in. That's where they would put you when they didn't care about you. They want to get rid of you. They would literally drop you in that hole. You could never get out, and you just die there. You can't move. You can't do anything. You'd sleep standing up while you were still alive. That's what an oubliette is. So imagine when they were writing this song, the oubliette obviously they weren't talking about literally oubliette, but maybe the isolation of a relationship gone sour, that sort of thing. I don't know. But I really liked this song. I thought it was really well done. And like I said, I know Bell loves these guys. I really like these guys as well. They're a really good band. And I look forward to everything that they've put out since I've been introduced to them. And the fact that they're Canadian. How weird is it that I got
it's randomly
Canadian
assigned.
bands?
I swear.
Sure it is, Andrew.
It is.
But I know it is. But I'm just like, it's so weird that I got the Canadian guy, the Outcast here, got both Canadian artists. So that's great. What can I say? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. It was well sung. It was well played. Production on it was really clear, crisp. Just really good song from a good band. Up and coming 3-piece band. And these guys I think they're gonna be big. I think they're gonna be really big. It's just a matter of time. So if they keep putting out shit like this, it won't be long. 2 thumbs up. Horns, love it.
Nice. 9 shots. All right, cool.
Yep.
Well, let's do the rounds. I'm going to go horns up on this. I reckon it's the best song I've heard from these guys yet. I really enjoyed this one. Dave's in the middle somewhere. Bell wasn't able to do things this week, so we'll just keep cycling on through. Dave's going to pull double duty in a second. But before we get to that point, we have one more song to go through. But we do have Michael says Freeze the Fall gets a lot of love, but doesn't do it for me at all. 4 shots. Can't like everything, I guess. Well, you can't.
That's true.
I know everyone's spoken about. I don't remember a song we did before. I know
Bell did.
I don't recall this at all.
Okay, we've done some, but there you go.
Yeah, my first time hearing them.
I didn't misspeak. Did I, Bell? Because I'm pretty sure you liked them. Yeah.
You've spoken about this before, but I just don't remember.
Well, we do cover a lot of music, to be fair.
Yeah.
So cover all, and if it doesn't grab you, you're not going to remember it as well. Anyway. So it's one of those things where we can't like everything. It just is what it is. That's the point of being honest and having some fun. It's true. Alrighty. Next up, though, is Inglorious with Devil Inside. Link in the comments, folks, and the description box. This is nominated by Ula, assigned to myself. This is from the UK band's upcoming V or 5 album due June the 6th, 2025. As we've discussed previously, this album marks the return from hiatus for the band, but also sees the return of bassist Colin Parkinson. This one climbed to number 3 this week, so I'm going to give my thoughts on it, then we'll do the rounds. Now, it's funny because I was assigned the last song from these guys in Hot Rocks as well, so I've gone 2 in a row with this band. And this picks up where that last track left off as far as I'm concerned. This one has a hell of a lot of rumble, though. I love the riff and the grit in this one. That said, as always with these guys, with Nathan James as vocalist, there's always plenty of melody, and they've really got bite with these couple of songs anyways. I love this. This sounds great. I love the little bits of space in this one, but it's also really punchy. You just want to turn this one up, and everything is crystal clear the whole way through. There's some great tonal shifts on that note as well. Great use of sort of push and pull in the production there to sort of really move the song, and it aids this thing because there's a certain swing to the song too in the production that helps that sort of really get your attention and move you as you're listening through it. There's also some great energy in this one. It's almost frantic in the riff at points and the rhythm too, but the slower pacing of the vocal is a great offset to that, which works nicely. Nothing complicated about this song. It's a pretty short one, but it just does what you want and it rocks damn hard. There's some great subtle atmosphere though in this song, sort of particularly toward the middle part of it. But around all that, there's a big hook and it's catchy as all fuck. It's a sneaky good hook. It has one of those wonderful knacks where it has that earworm effect where you just can't stop hearing it even though the song has rung out. Sort of like, Chasing Euphoria before. This song had the same effect on me with that one. But like I said, there's a sneaky bit of composition in this one too where they strip things back in the middle of the song, which is a great sort of pause for breath before the final stanza of the song. On the flip side, for me, this could also be the heaviest song I've heard this band do. I haven't followed all their stuff super closely, but it's up there in terms of heaviness overall. And for me, it just lands. It's gnarly. It's got groove. It's just got an impact, and it's for me something we've all followed this band and the drama around it, but this one does feel different. This album, these two songs just feel different. Something feels like it's building on this one. So I'm looking forward to the album. I'm really keen to check it out now. Yeah, these two songs I'm hooked on. So this is a keeper as far as I'm concerned. I really enjoyed it. Nice bit of darkness at the very end of it as well. This is like 3 minutes and 13 seconds of sonic gold as far as I'm concerned. 9 shots from me. I really enjoyed this one quite a lot. So let's see how everyone else with it. Give us your horns, thumbs up, whatever you've got for this one. How'd we go? Yep, love all round, which is cool. So now we'll move on to the next one. And this is where Dave starts his double duty because comments here. Michael says, Mick said, Freeze the Fall Glitch was the first introduction by me. That was the first one there. Kat says, Freeze the Fall, One Left Standing was in the top 10 late last year for a bit. So they all remember, which is cool. I believe Freeze the Fall's debut EP, Thrones, had a few song reviewed on here. Yeah, which is what it was. Jolie says, love that Inglorious 8 shots. There we go. And Michael says, hey girls and boys, good to see you as well.
Hey,
Michael.
man.
Well, and another Michael. We've got a lot of Michaels. Inglorious 8 shots like this one. So there we go.
It's the Michael Club.
I know it is. It's like, Michael's anonymous. That's going well. Everyone with a different last name.
Michael at a young age.
Which Michael? It's like I'm Spartacus. But anyway, that's the next song is Dangerous Curves with Dancin' Dirty. I put this one forward. We're going to get Dave to do double G this week. This is the latest single from the Melbourne band that comes almost a year after the last single, which was called It Ain't Love. Not sure what's next on the horizon for these guys, but this particular track has a guest spot from none other than Megadeth's own Chris Poland. Because of that, this almost took top spot. Sorry, went to number 2 this week. So, Dave, first of 2 for you. Have at it.
Okay, firstly, how the fuck does this band get Chris Poland to play a solo on their fucking song?
Idea.
That is so cool. That's like Sister Soul getting Bruce Kulick to play a solo on their second album. That was fucking cool too.
Yep.
And much like Sisters Doll, I have seen this band grow from their very beginning. In fact, could be wrong, but I think I brought Dangerous Curves to the THRS world. I saw them at Cherry Bar.
Very first EP, yeah.
Yeah, they had their first EP out, and I saw them as a support band. Like, this is fucking cool. I introduced myself to the band, bought their EP, and I said, and Andrew, Jimmy, and Dennis, like, we should review this EP, and it was fucking cool. So, and much like Sisters Doll, seeing Dangerous Curves not only survive COVID and keep thriving all these years, but also grow as musicians and people. It's cool over time. Now, I think the first EP I described as this isn't a throwback to 80s rock. This is 80s rock. And I fucking love that. So, and then they released their album and a few singles, but this is something a bit different for them. It's a bit heavier. And it's like they've found their niche, their sound, their groove. It's like everything else was a warm-up. Everything else was cool, but just like, okay, they've finally come into their own entity. So, it's a fucking cool song, cool hook, awesome solo. Thanks, Chris. I mean, just come over to Australia and hang out with us. So if you're an old school fan of the show and you went to a first extravaganza, I would be amiss if I didn't give this 8 sweaty t-shirts. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. There is a story there if you don't know. And if you don't know, it's probably best that it remains silent. But yeah,
that's a deep cut though. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, that was fucking embarrassing.
That was funny.
It was funny. You have a sweaty t-shirt front at you, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't have to do that. I was too busy running things today. But no, that was fun. We've had a lot of fun with this band over the years, and that it's funny because we had another band out of the US called Dangerous Curves. Almost, do you remember them? They challenged us after they saw our review of that.
Through our band too.
One, and it would just paled in comparison. So I was like, yeah, that didn't go as well. I did it. Yeah, it wasn't very good. So, but Dangerous Curves, I love this one. I'm going to give this one massive horns up. I love it. I love the rip, how heavy it is, and how it's chunky in in the verse and soft. Oh, sorry, chunky in the chorus, but heavy. Sorry, light in the verse, which is a really cool sort of light and shade effect in it as well. And Jeff, you gave it horns up as well. So
oh yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, Jolie says dangerous, 9 shots, loved it. There we go. Michael says dangerous curves, loved this, 8 shots. Chris Boland solo was a great highlight for Tastemakers last week. So
I'm just glad this band's still around because so many disappeared over COVID. But they're still hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question, Dave, how do you get like a guy like Chris Poland? Well, my buddy who's from back in Canada put an album out a little while ago. And you can just go online and request it. Like he got Derek Sherinian to play fucking keyboards on his album.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
You just pay the money. Like
$1,000
bucks.
Like those fucking birthday wishes people will do. Like you get Mike Portnoy to do a birthday wish for your friend. But
I don't know if they've met. I don't know if they met Chris, but maybe they just sent him the file.
You don't have to be in the same room to record music.
Not anymore.
But that's the thing; it doesn't jar. It fits the vibe.
It's very well done. Like you wouldn't know that it wasn't recorded. I'm sure it wasn't.
You couldn't even tell. Like seriously, I wouldn't know where the riff work and the lead work. Like if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't know where one ends and one begins. Like it actually blends really well. So it's a really really neatly done job there. One more song to get through, and speaking of bands that love to fucking hang around, this is one of those ones much people has either love or hate. This is the Dead Daisies with Light 'Em Up. Jolie assigned this one. Dave gets the duty. This is a bit of a sneaky one, Jolie. This actually dates back to the 2024 album of the same name, so I'm assuming this is piggybacking off of the Boom Boom nomination last week. So it's a bit of an older one, but anyway, it romped the votes. It absolutely romped the votes, so it's kind of hard to ignore when that happens. That said, there is a new album coming this year from the Australian-American band, so it's well worth giving them some time anyway, because I do have another one coming out already. This one has a revolving door of musicians. Currently, John Corabi is fronting them on vocals. But yeah, we didn't cover this one at all last year, so it's time to give it some love now. Went to number 1 this week, and like I said, it absolutely romped it. It wasn't even close. So, Dave, over to you.
Cool. John Corabi. Okay, for everyone that loves that Motley Crue self-titled album, I fucking hate it. But I like John Corabi's voice. Okay, but that album's shit. Everyone loves it. I hate it. This band has been around for a long time now. I remember when they first broke through, there was a lot of love for this band. There was also a lot of hate. I never understood why. I don't love them. I certainly don't hate them. They're straight up rock and roll, not reinventing the wheel in any way at all. But they have their own unique take on the genre, which is refreshing. And what they do well. Most importantly, they're keeping the style alive, which for a whole new generation to hear, which I'm more than cool with that. Pretty straightforward rock and roll song is what you want from this genre of music. Toe-tapping rhythm, cool solo, catchy, memorable chorus. Beer drinking, driving fast, and barbecuing red meat. Fuck yeah, turn it up. 8 shots.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones that just does exactly what it says on the tin, isn't it? There's nothing complicated, but fuck, it's good. And when it's done well, it's hard to ignore. So yeah, horns up for me. I enjoy this one quite a lot.
I like it too.
Same for Jeff, which is cool.
They're Aussie, are they not? Are they not Aussie?
Yeah. They're Aussie, but they have like the main.
Here.
David Lowe's is the main guy, and then he just has musicians around him all the time.
That's
which is
right.
More power to you if you can do it.
Absolutely.
Jolie said, woohoo, yes. Michael said 9 shots, Dead Daisies. Jolie said 9 shots, seen them live and they rock. So there we go. There's more love all around for those ones. So enjoy, folks. That is there. Now for a quick little interlude while we do a bit of news here, quickly just catching up on a couple of things over the last couple of weeks. First off is obviously always start with the bad news because that refuses to wait. James Baker, drummer for Hoodoo Gurus, unfortunately passed away after a battle with cancer at the age of 71. So we just wanted to pass on. Didn't get to do this last week, so I was passing on our condolences and considerations and all that sort of stuff. Best wishes to those who knew and loved him, family, friends, bandmates, and all the rest. It's always sad news. There was a fundraiser to help his treatment and other things a little while ago. Hopefully that went well. But yeah, unfortunately, not unexpected, but still sad news all the same. So James Baker from the Hoodoo Gurus has passed away. Our condolences to all who knew and loved him. That said, we do have good news to go through. A few bits of good news this week. First off is that a few weeks back, you'll remember that we talked about Airborne having their storage unit broken into and a whole bunch of guitars taken and all that sort of shit. Mm-hmm. Everything except the mandolin got returned, believe it or not. I don't know how or why or what the fuck happened, but that is kind of special and a rare bit of news there. That never, ever happens. So everything apart from one mandolin was returned. I know there were some deeply sentimental guitars in there, so I'm glad that has had as happy an ending as possible, it would seem. Changing over to things in New South Wales, they have become the first state in Australia to reinstate Michael's rule for touring musicians. This is an incentive program that will see New South Wales, the state, offering $20,000 worth of discounts and other support to bands at state-owned venues that use local support bands. So if a band wants to come here and play venues, they can knock a bit of money off the bill, and they can do so by simply putting on some local bands as support instead of bringing over massive bands for touring with them. So that is a good initiative. I would like to see that rolled out across the rest of the country. But again, good news. Believe it or not, of all places, New South Wales is leading the charge on that one, considering everyone talked about how their live scene was dying only a short time ago. So there's that. Now, for the last bit of good news here, and that is that Ablaze, the Melbourne band Ablaze, one we've known and loved for quite some time, have finally announced their second album. It is called Sink Your Teeth In. It's due for release on August the 1st, 2025. They have an album launch at the Leadbeater Hotel on August the 9th. And then after that, they're doing a tour of Europe and the UK. So no rest for the wicked. This will be the first album with a new lineup. So what we've heard so far, we've liked. And so best wishes to all going forward. I'm sure we'll have a chat to them in the near future as well. But Ablaze, new album is finally on the way, folks. Nice. So looking forward to that. Got 2 weeks of new releases to just quickly skim through here and just pick a few ones that got my attention from the list. There's a big list as always, but we'll go through it. Some heavier stuff here. We got Behemoth with The Shit of God. They dropped their one last week. That's out now. Butthole Surfers, though, released live at the Leather Fly last week. Candlemass, though, speaking of heavier bands, released their new EP Black Star last week as well. Hippie Death Cult with another live album with Live at Star Theatre. Then we have Sleep Token. I know a lot of people follow that band with their new album, Even in Arcadia. That is out last week as well. Moving on to releases that are coming out tomorrow. Not as big of a list, but an interesting one nonetheless. We have Giant, melodic rock band from Frontiers. They have their new album, Stand and Deliver, coming out tomorrow. Paul Diano has, I believe, a compilation album, but I might be wrong on this one, but it's an album called In Memory Of coming out. So that's one for all the Paul Diano fans to get around. And then finally, a vocalist I know a lot of us love, Taria, is releasing her latest, which is Circus Life, tomorrow as well. So there's a few things coming out tomorrow. Not as big of a list, but an interesting list nonetheless. All right, let's get, what do we got here? Here we go. Nath. Here we go. After weeks of teasing, here is a Hard Rock Show scoop. You guys are the first to know that Ice on Mercury are doing a one-off reunion show in Adelaide later in the year. Keep an eye on socials. That is fucking fantastic. Stoked to hear that, Nath.
Come to Melbourne.
I know. But I don't know, mate. At least they're doing a show, which I'm fucking stoked about. At least
start.
It's a start. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it goes well. But thank you for sharing that with us. We're big fans. Dave and I in particular are massive fans of that band. So I'm glad to see they're doing something. Because that cover
they were the last band to play at the Elephant and Wheelbarrow in St Kilda. I was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a good night. That was a really fucking good night.
Great band. If you're in Adelaide and you want to see a great band play live, watch that band. They are fucking a beast in the live environment. They are fantastic. What we got here? Conspiracy Guru. Good to see you. He's gone featuring Chris Bolan. What a treat. That was the Dangerous Curves track there. So good to see you as well. And Vinny's gone, not surprised. Winter is usually mandolin season, like the seedless one's the best. Oh my God. Vinny. Wow. All right. Oh, here we go. Let's move on to some happier things here because we do have the Backyard Banger coming up next, and this is a great part of the night too. Or quickly here, Sean says Melbourne bound in August, Dave, if you're free for a beer. That's Sean. So there you go.
Fucking yes.
If you guys want to catch up, please do. Yeah. Keep in touch with each other, guys. I would love to see you guys have a catch up. But anyway, Backyard Banger time, folks. Let's get into it. This is Carmeria with Trinity Volume 1. It's a very, very quick EP. This is 3 tracks for 11 minutes. The latest offering from the New South Wales band, released Valentine's Day 2025 independently. Produced by vocalist Jordan Von Gray. 1 single has been released from this, which is the reference track in Lost in the Snow. This was also teased to all of us in the interview we did with Jordan last year. And this is made up of 1 new song, 1 acoustic version of an original song, and 1 cover. This is the follow-up to the wonderful album Tragedy and More, which featured so prominently in our top 10s last year. And as such, we're always keen for more from this band. So after some wrangling behind the scenes, this was assigned to Bell. So without any further ado, take it away. We're wrangling away.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Carmeria Trinity Volume 1. That gives me hope for more. there's an implication there, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 3 songs on this EP, all ballads of a sort, all completely different. First song, Lost in the Snow, which we all fell in love with after that live preview last year.
Yeah.
Thanks to the band and Dave for that awesomeness. That was
Yes.
really cool. I'd like to do more of that.
That was a special moment. Yeah.
It was a cool moment. But from that listen until now, like I have not, like I loved it when I first heard it. I haven't lost any love. In fact, it's not diminished. It's grown. Especially since now I know more about the song, like what the lyrics are about. And because of that, I just can't listen to it without getting a little bit teary. Yeah, nothing in the world is more important than your children. And as a mother, that song just cuts right through, like to my heart. And yeah, just to be able to channel that kind of love into such a beautiful lullaby, it's just a gift. So yeah, I want to thank the guys for sharing such a personal song.
Great song.
Yeah. So Solaris Acoustic is, funnily enough, an acoustic version of a single they released in 2017, which was also on their 2021 album, Advene.
Yep.
That's how you say it.
Yep. Advene.
So after listening to the original, I wouldn't have actually put it into ballad territory. It's just a great mid-pace symphonic metal song. But their acoustic version, although the tempo is about the same, it just brings it into that intimate space that acoustic songs seem to magically bring you into. And it sounds like this version is in a different key as well. I've always been curious to know why bands do that. I know a lot of the time it has to do with the vocals singing, but it seems like this one, they've gone up from A minor into B flat minor. I don't know why. So yeah, higher. But okay. Maybe Jordan can't sing as low anymore. I don't know. Anyway.
Jordan, if you're watching, let us know, because I'm curious now.
I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fascinated.
And so, yeah, the lyrics, as in all Carmeria songs, are poetic, deep, and meaningful. And in the case of this song, very relatable. To me, this seems to be a song about shining a light for someone in a dark place. It's like the song equivalent of the Elf Queen in Lord of the Rings when she gives Frodo that like crystal thing that he uses in the cave with the spider. Yeah, this is Carmeria's version of that.
Neat fucking analogy. Well done.
Anyway, sorry. There are some lovely details in this song. The backing vocals are particularly good. There was more room for them to embellish the song vocally in this sort of pared back version. And it was done really beautifully. And their full harmonies are always well done and definitely a strong point on this and just their music in general. And again, in the third track, that's no exception there. And this is actually my favorite of the 3, Sailorman's Hymn. As soon as it started, I just stopped. Like as soon as it started, I was in the first bar and I'm just like, whoa, this is something special. I just stopped what I was doing and I was just captivated. Like from then, I couldn't do anything. I was just, yeah. Like just between the beautiful guitar, the keys, the way Jordan tells the story or sings the story, I was just completely lost. You know, I think it's got a 1, 2, 3 beat, and I just like I find myself swaying along when I hear it. It's awesome. Yeah, it's like just a beautiful folk ballad. This one. So yeah, you know, if you hear a song for the first time, like. You either hate it or you're like, yeah, it's a good song, or meh. And then there's those ones that just like, oh my God, this is special. This song did that for me. I just love everything about it. It's a melancholy, but not so much that I get teary like I do in Lost in the Snow. So I have no real personal connection to the story, but it's so well told nonetheless that it feels familiar. And the lyrics just paint this vivid picture in my mind when I listen to it. Props to the gorgeous guitar work. As I said, it's undeniably beautiful, and it's what pulled me in to this song from the start. But I also need to shout out to the keyboard player here. I'm sorry, I probably should have researched and got names
Mishka.
there.
Mishka. It's Mishka.
Mishka. Okay, Mishka. That's a cool name. Yeah, just the perfect choices made throughout this song, like the way the strings come in and out, the octave choices in where that's done, the choice of where to use the piano tone here and there, in and out. Just everything was subtle but perfect. Jordan's voice is so distinctive and just honest. There's nowhere to hide in a song like this, with the music kind of pulled back and listeners just hanging off your every word. You have to be on your game, and he's just on. Gorgeous. And finally, I just want to say that I adore how they close this song out. Yes, it's a sad song, but it's about longing, but it's also about hope. And the final line in the chorus, it's still ringing in your ears. Sunrise consoles at the break of dawn. And then they chose to kind of just have it ring out on what I think was a major chord rather than the minor that would, kind of, I could be wrong, but it sounds like they've done that. Like they've gone from a, so I've been a bit nerdy with this. I actually pulled my keyboard out with, because it just, this whole EP just kind of got me. I'm like, nice. So I set it up and I'm just playing along. Yeah, it's like, I think they went to an E flat major rather than the E flat minor, which they use throughout the song. Anyway, sorry. It was just fucking great.
More of that.
This band, this band, love it. Favorite tracks: Sailorman's Hymn, Lost in the Snow, and Solaris acoustic. And all awesome. 10 shots from me.
Wow, beautiful, nicely done.
That was cool.
Yep. Yeah. Good job. I like that one a lot. All right. I'm going to play with fire, but Dave, you're in the t-shirt, so give us your brief review if possible.
Yeah. The drawback of doing the show and being involved and knowing some of these local musicians is you sometimes have to sit on things and shut the fuck up until it's actually released. Yeah. So last year, Christmas Eve, Jordan messages me and says something like, thanks for the support, dude. Merry Christmas, and sends me a fucking link to this EP. Like, by the way, it's not out for like a month and a half. Like, I heard this before a lot of other people did, and like, my God, I can't talk about the shit that I get to hear. Yeah. I love when bands release acoustic EPs between albums. It shows the different sides of the band, and it's a great follow-up from the preceding album. Guns N' Roses did it, Alice in Chains did it, and lots of other bands do it. It's a fucking great idea. These 3 songs are so diverse. We premiered Lost in the Snow earlier in the year. We spoke extensively about that, and it sounds just as beautiful now as the first time I heard it, way back before everybody else did. It was a truly beautiful, open, and honest song. And I had a little chat with Jordan about our kids. And just being able to do that with a musician who does music like this. I can't talk to fucking Nightwish about what they do, but being able to talk to a local musician about this and getting a deep understanding about what these songs are about and being able to relate, it's just really, really cool. And it's great that you get to share shit like that. But that song is fucking amazing. Solaris, the acoustic version really strips it down to the bare bones and it lets the song shine. I went back and listened to the original version on the first album, which was a standout on that album, if I remember rightly, when I first heard it. I have to say, this song really shines in its acoustic form. It's such a great hook to the chorus. The music is peaceful and reflective, and it just, there's something just special about taking away all the extra production and the symphonic elements and just acoustic and vocals. And it's just beautiful. And the closing track, Sailorman's Hymn, just peaceful sun setting on the perfect day, perhaps the last day. I have a fire pit playlist for everyone sparking out. Fire pit and getting drunk and like perfect for midnight, going into 2 a.m., 3 a.m., just reflective, just looking up at the stars and just, this is, get lost in this shit. I love this band. I love this EP. I can't wait to hear more from this band. This gets 10. 2 horns up, 10 shots. Fantastic.
Beautiful. All right, Jeff.
Yeah, look, it's what I'm not gonna. It's just a great, it's just really, really well done. It's very, it's heartfelt. There's a lot of heartfelt. There's a lot of genuine stuff. So yeah, just I can't top anything Bell or Dave has said. So it's 10 shots from me as well. It's brilliant. Love it. And what else can you say? It's just great.
Yeah, well, it's hard to follow what Bell and Dave put forward. I just think that everything this band does is exceptional. This EP is no break to that. We all know Lost in the Snow. I'm glad that it's not just me, and I'm not surprised, but I'm glad that we all feel the same way about that song now as we did when Dave first heard it, but also when we all first heard it when we premiered the song live on the show too. I think, if anything, it's actually grown in its gravitas since that day of release for me personally. What this whole thing has done here is showcased much more of this band. Now, I'm with Dave. I think that, especially in a content-starved world, acoustic EPs like this are fucking fantastic. They say this is volume 1, so hopefully there's many more volumes to come. But I liked what they did with Solaris in particular, and how they stripped that back, and having Emma do the backing vocals on that one has really added a different texture and flavor to that song. What she's brought to the band, not only on her musical chops but also her vocal abilities, has really given this band an extra string to the bow that I'm glad to see them utilizing so strongly, because it really works for them incredibly well. It's breathed new life into an already great song, that version of it. I think it's great. It's warm, emotive, as is everything they do, obviously. It's just the way this band works, but it's fantastic. But then it's funny because it's not been mentioned. This is about the only key note that I've got that's different to anyone else here, is that last song, A Sailorman's Hymn, it's a Camelot cover. And that was the that was Well,
I've said a long time. His vocals,
I did not know that.
Yeah. There you go. I've stumped. Yeah. Yes. Anyway.
I wouldn't have known that. You guys, though.
I knew it.
Come on.
I did not know that.
I didn't say it, but I should have said something.
No, but the thing is that it's funny because I remember the interview that Jordan teased there'd be a cover. I knew it was going to be a Camelot cover, and so that's where I did the extra incentive on digging. I remember the interview. But the thing is that I don't know the Camelot track. I know it's a cover, but I don't know it. The thing is, I love this version of that song so much, I don't want to go and check out the original. I feel like
I'm cool with that too.
Yes.
Oh, right.
So that's how good that version is to me. I don't want to go and listen to the original because I feel like it'll be a letdown. I just feel like this is perfect the way it is.
I see. Yeah.
I'm trying not to interrupt, but recently Carmeria posted on their socials that what song should we cover. So I think they're planning volume 2 of this.
Nice.
And somebody mentioned 69 Eyes Dance to More.
That would be cool.
And I'm like, fuck yes. I like that. I'm like, fuck yeah, do it. So if this band covers that song, I'm like, holy shit, because I know that song, I love that song, but if this band covers it, it might actually top it. So
yeah. Well, even the power of this song though, the Sailorman's Hymn from Camelot, the cover, it's one of those ones where we're still relatively early in the year. We're getting into the middle of the year now, but we have the category best cover for the year. This is already front runner by a mile. And so like I said, I just want to quickly shout out Jordan and his mixing skills. I know he was a bit self-conscious. He's gotten obviously a lot of praise over the time. I want to give him a shout out again for his mixing skill because it's fucking great.
And his albums sound amazing.
And the thing is that to do this sort of stuff, there's nowhere to hide. To get these tones right is tricky, and it's a bit more difficult than when you've got the amplified stuff going on. So he's really honed his chops in the shows on this one here. So all in all, this is a great little package. I'm not going to quite give it 10 because it is a 3-track EP, and I do get pretty picky on the 10. So I'm going to go 9, though. It's not going to be not quite. But it's fantastic and well worth your time. It's like 11 minutes to listen to it. Please do so, folks, because as with everything these guys do, you will be rewarded for the investment of your time, which is your most precious resource to put into it. Support these guys however you can because they are well and truly worth it, and they're fantastic people to boot. So well done to Carmeria and all involved, and we look forward to more to come, hopefully, in the future. Speaking of, Sean said, hope you're well, Jordan, and Craig has jumped in as well, saying, hi, everyone, good to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well out there too. Alrighty, time to move over to Fretboard Feud, which is one of the games we play on the show, which is this time around we're going through 1985 and picking different albums from that year with a bit of a twist. For the first time, we're going month by month. Now, just before we do go through that, remember, guys, you have the wild card option where you can choose something from a previously done month that if you find something this month that doesn't grab your attention, you can go back to previous months we've done and pick something from there instead if you choose to do so. Don't forget the option. But anyway, last week we had February and Dave took Anthrax, Armed and Dangerous, the EP. Bell took Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. I picked Alcatraz with Disturbing the Peace, and Jeff took Accept Metal Heart. Interesting polling because as things went last week, I was number 1, Jeff number 2, Bell number 3, Dave number 4. That's how things were at the end of last week. Much more even this time around. Jeff, for your choice, you got a grand total of 20 points for Accept. So that goes on to total. I got 30 points for Alcatraz. Dave, 40 points for Anthrax. Bell took top spot with the Phil Collins release. 50 points for her choosing No Jacket Required.
Phil Collins beat Anthrax.
It did. Wow. This is going to be an interesting game because I know this is. But this
you're a bunch of pussies.
The problem is they don't wear jackets, Dave. That's the problem.
Yeah. or shirts, or shorts,
or anything.
They wear shorts.
But anyway,
you need to say not more.
Okay. This changes things up because despite that figure, the game has tightened right up. So Dave and Jeff, you're both tied on 60 points now. Bell and I are both tied on 80 points. So it is very close early on in the piece. So now, as we do, we move over to March. I sent you guys through a list of albums to go through. Whoever goes last the week before goes first in the new week. So Jeff, we throw to you first. Which album are you taking for your March 1985 library?
Well, it's kind of fitting that we kind of touched on this band earlier. So I'm just going to say like Wow and take the Hoodoo Gurus from Mars Needs Guitars. Yeah. So sad that the drummer James Baker has passed away. That is sad. But in honor of him and everything else, this is a great band. I've liked them for years. So I was introduced to them by my ex when I came out here. Wow. Great. Yeah. Great fitting. So indeed. Mars needs guitars. So does Earth, but Mars does too. So that's what I'm taking.
That means women.
Nice, Mars Needs Women. I'm waiting for Jody to chime in on that one. That's for Rob Zombie. But anyway, it's a Rob Zombie track. Something's going on there. Alrighty, which means next up though. So Jeff starts off with Hoodoo Gurus. Dave, you are up next.
Wait, I get to pick the only album that I've heard in this whole list. So I'm going Bon Jovi, 78,000 Fahrenheit. I can't remember it, but I know I've heard it.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. This is going to be fun. All right, which means Belle, you get to go next. So what are you taking off the list now?
Well, I knew that I wouldn't, being third in line, get Bon Jovi. I knew someone would take it. I was surprised Jeff didn't, but I understand his choice. That's cool.
Yep.
So, and I guess like Dave, I had heard of some of the bands, hadn't heard, I don't think, any of the albums. Oh, great. What the fuck am I going to do? So what I started doing was just randomly listening to maybe a song or two of bands that I'd at least heard of. And those bands were pretty much 70s bands. I think Slade, Uriah Heep, I pulled out. I'm like, and what I've realized was it was a really fucking awkward time for, well, at least the ones that I listened to, these 70s bands trying to be fresh and sound like have an 80s sound about them. It was just gross. Like there are exceptions, not on this list, or at least not that I kind of pulled out and listened to, but it was just a bit like, you know, we talk a lot on the show about 80s bands that try and fit in with the 90s, and that doesn't work. The ones that, you go back and listen to that did work are the ones that actually stayed true to their sound. Again, exceptions, but still for the most part. Anyway, so thought, well, fuck that. I'm going to find an 80s band who were fresh in the 80s and who were so I found a debut album by, and I'd heard of this band, Sisters of Mercy. Put it on. Didn't know what to expect. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is kind of like new wave, like a bit like The Cure. And I just ended up playing the whole thing. I'm like, this is fucking great. So not only have I got my choice, I've found, I think they've only got 3 albums.
Listen to their next album.
Yeah, so
some good stuff.
Really liked it. So that's my choice.
Nice. All right. Wins all round. It's funny because all these albums are on my short list. I knew I was going last this week, so I gave myself a bit of a list. But it's funny because I'm going to go... Belle, you did the out there choice last week with Phil Collins. I'm going to be that person that does that this week because this album is probably heavier than you might expect when you hear the name associated with it. So I'm taking Michael Bolton. Everybody's crazy. It is genuinely a heavier album than you might expect if you're new to this. But also, I have a funny feeling we've had a lot of people talk about that one in the past. I think Dennis played Everybody's Crazy as a classic clip years ago on the show, and it fucking went off. So I'm hoping to cash in a little bit. Also, it's an album I don't mind. You know, it's one of those, you know, quote unquote. I don't believe in guilty pleasures per se. If you like it, you like it, and it is what it is. But it's one of those ones that I do enjoy. It's one of those fun little ones that you hear Michael Bolton, you go, "What the fuck?" But if you listen to the album, you're like, "Oh, hang on, there's something to this," which I don't mind and I enjoy. It's a bit different for his career. So I'm taking that one off the board. So just to quickly recap here for a bit of fun. Hoodoo Gurus, Mars Knee Guitars. That's Jeff's choice this week. Dave took Bon Jovi's 700 Degrees Fahrenheit. Belle has the Sisters of Mercy with First and Last and Always. And I took Michael Bolton with Everybody's Crazy. That is the list. We'll get a bit of a poll.
You heard it here.
Online.
First time. Michael Bolton.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, you missed it, Dave. You missed it. We just did a first for the show. Andrew took Michael Bolton.
Okay. I know. We reviewed Kate Bush, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. Good point, Dave. Good point. But so that's that, and we'll see how the poll goes as the week progresses.
He's probably gonna fucking smash it.
Yeah. Here's a question. Here's a thing that Vinny says. I reckon Carmeria would do Typo Negative justice by covering one of their darker songs. I reckon that would be great as well. Actually, that would work. That would work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what song, Dave? Your mind's going somewhere. I can see it.
Blood and Fire.
Yes, that is an awesome song. They would do that so well, especially imagine because you could have the 2 vocals too. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yes.
That'd be so cool. That would work.
Yeah.
Here we go. What do we got here? Victoria says, "Hi, all. Wondering what your favorite cover is of any song. P.S. Michael Bolton rocks." I might
All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah,
Jimi Hendrix.
Version that, that's
can't
cool.
go past that.
Check out the version that was done for Battlestar Galactica too. That was cool. That's a question I'll have to take on notice. I think as much as it's not the hard rock show, but Johnny Cash's version of Hurt is fucking special.
That song makes me cry.
Yeah, but it's one of those songs that's special. But I might bookmark that and put it as the question of the week for next week. It's an interesting topic that always goes well. So yeah. Speaking of, Craze Gone Shapes of Things by Gary Moore. But also Victoria followed up with saying, just got here, fucking hay fever is doing me in. Well, unfortunately, that's the case at this time of year. Hopefully it gets better for you over there as we go through. Alrighty, I have a cat playing havoc with stuff here on my desk.
And now you wonder why your camera wasn't working.
No, it wasn't the cat, but I was wondering, I could hear something rustling around before. I'm like, what's going on? It's a cat behind the screen over there. So I was like, okay, that's going to be interesting for me. Alrighty. But now it's time to do something completely different. If a cat walks across the keyboard and cuts me off, you'll know what happened. But now it's time for something different, which is my turn this week. And I do have something different for you. I'm going to call this one. Every time we do this, we go through and have a different game each week. We all have different things. And I'm trying something different we haven't done before. I'm calling it Twisted Limericks. Okay. So I'm going to give you what is a ridiculous little poem for all these songs. And I just want you to guess the band it's referring to. Bonus points if you guess the title of the song that it's in reference to. But this is going to be interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm going to do one go each one, then just move on so don't spend forever and a day on this one because it's one of those ones that will be challenging to
Is this a put up the horns first?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay. On the screen and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, so here's number one, just to give you a taste of things. This is hopefully a bit of an introduction, but we'll see. Here we go. See who gets there first. Now, people in the comments, just quickly, don't bother. You can put your guesses in there, but I'm not going to read them all out.
We have to guess the song, the band. What is it? We have to guess.
Just go for the band. If you get the song as well, it's bonus points.
All right, cool. Okay, yeah,
cool. Alrighty, here we go. A grunge band once played in a hall, their anthem the voice of us all. But the teens' mighty cheer turned weird in your ear. Belle?
Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yes. There we go. Well done.
Did you AI this shit?
It helped me, yes.
Cool.
I haven't got that much time, man. So, yes, I see the cat on the other side of the desk now trying to get over here, which will be interesting. So bear that in mind. The last line of that one was, "It smells like cabbage and fall." So there you go. That's how you get to the point of that one. All right. So, number 2. There is a bit of a cross-section here, so don't worry. They sang with huge hair and a grin in the era where glam ruled the wind. Now it's less of a prayer and more fruity flair. Livin', Dave.
Bon Jovi.
Yes. Well done. The final line was... Okay. Sorry, the cat's doing something. The final one was "Living on a Mandarin." Sorry, the cat almost pulled the power cord out. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
Lemon on a pear.
Yes. Okay, cat, come here, because she's going to trash things if I don't grab her. So just come here, little one. There we go. This is Jelly. Say hello to everyone, Jelly.
Hello,
Yeah,
Jelly. You're in trouble.
Yeah, she's in trouble. I'm going to put her on the Motorhead t-shirt. Hopefully she'll curl up and go to sleep there like she did before. They just got these sex the other day, so they're a bit sort of up and down. Alrighty, number 3. Let's see.
Yes, you do.
This Aussie band shouted with might about struggle and working class fight, but their powerful jam now sounds like a scam. Beds are burning with Sprite. Oh, shit. I'll go Jeff first.
That would be Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
And Beds Are Burning. Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Nicely done. All right. It's working. Okay. It's not completely falling flat.
That's cool.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Number 4. This tune was a rage and a roar from a band you can't help but adore. But the crisis at hand now smells slightly bland. Midlife sausages hardcore.
What?
This does get nonsensical, like I said. I'll read it one more time.
Yes, please.
This tune was a rage and a roar from a band you can't help but adore. From the crisis at hand now smells slightly bland. Midlife sausages hardcore. Nonsense,
No.
This one. All right.
Stump.
No one got it. That is Faith No More. The reference track was Midlife Crisis.
Should have just guessed. I was like, should I?
always
Nah.
All right.
Yeah, what have I got to lose, right?
That's
Fuck
it. You may as well. All right, number 5. Fuck. This new metal anthem's a beast, but its title's now changed in the least. A track full of pain that now sounds insane. Chop up my lasagna, at least.
Wow.
No one? All right, I'll go again.
Read it again. Yep.
This new metal anthem's a beast, but its title now has changed in the least. A track full of pain that now sounds insane. Chop up my lasagna, at least.
No.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dave, yeah?
Chop suey.
Yes, well done. There you go.
Yes.
On the buzzer. Wow.
Wow.
Buzzer beater. Nicely done, man. Cool. All right. It's gone better than I thought. Number 6. They roared about thunder and steel with leather and fast driving zeal. But their spying surprise now brings in the cries. Electric pie seals the deal. Dave? He's not sure.
Judas Priest or Spinal Tap?
You were right the first time. It's Judas Priest.
Judas
The
Priest.
song was Electric Eye that inspired that one. So there you go. All
It's a
right.
fine
number
line.
7. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. An alt rock hit full of rage, trapped sadness inside of a cage. but the bullets they fling now do a weird thing. Dave?
Fuck, what are they called? Smashing Pumpkins, Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Well done. You're getting it now because the last line was Bullet with Butterfly Legs on stage. So, yeah, there we go. Dave gets it again. So, Dave is killing it now. We're into it. All right. Number 8. So, getting to the pointy end here. A Spectre Investments and Mask sings doom hymns with charm and class. But this tune's now a feast for a Victorian's beast. Rats in a teacup, we ask. Bell.
I don't know. Is it Ghost?
Well done.
Fuck, I wouldn't have gotten that.
I don't know what song.
Wow. Rats. So there you go.
Ah, motherfucker.
There you go. All right. 3 to go. Number 9. This thrash band will melt off your face. Their riffs don't allow breathing space. But hellfire and war now feel like a chore. Raining frogs storms the place. Bell.
Slayer, Rain in Blood.
Yes.
Raining frogs?
In blood. Yes, but you get the point. Rain in Blood, Slayer. Well done.
I just picture a whole bunch of Kermits falling from the sky.
All right, number 10, 2 to go. The gods of hard rock and of lore with stairways and mystic rapport. But the epic... Oh, wow. Bell and Dave. I think Bell just...
Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven?
Yes, you'd be correct. The whole thing is the gods of hard rock and of lore with stairways and mystic rapport, but the epic refrain now boards a small plane, stairway to Terminal 4. So there we go. And now we have the finale, which is interesting. We'll see how this one goes. We have, they rode in with fury to sell from the underground rising pell-mell, but we tweaked it just right. Now it sounds less than fright. Cowboys from IKEA, what the hell?
Cowboys from IKEA?
Yeah.
Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
Yes, well done. It was just on.
Cowboys from IKEA.
There we go.
Yeah.
It worked. The game worked. So there we go. That was something a bit stupid, a bit of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, it was
Andrew,
stupid, but it was fun.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
That's good.
Really cool.
But that was it. So yeah, there we go, folks. That's the first time we've done that one. Twisted Limericks, I'm calling that one. So we'll see how that plays out if I do it again or not.
Have to do that again.
Yeah.
Who's got the game next week?
Bell has the game next week, so that's what it's going to be. And quickly on that note, next week's Backyard Banger, Dave has it. It's Hidden Intent with Terraform. That's next week's Backyard Banger as well. Alrighty. Speaking of, we now have the. I'll go through quickly, see if there's any comments on this one here, because sorry, Victoria said Alana's covered a King of Pain original by The Police, Red Rain by Il Nino original, Peter Gabriel. Those are my favorite covers. Well done, Victoria. They're good ones there. And Vinny's gone, that was quite good, Captain. Thank you. I'm glad people enjoyed it. You're always Craig Guest, number 1, Faith No More. So it was getting there. So it does work. It's just there's no point trying to go through all the comments. It doesn't quite match up. But I'm glad that one didn't completely fall flat in its face. So I'll take that as a win.
Right.
I'm glad that went well. You're not sure. You know what you do in your game? It's like, I'm not sure how it's going to go. And I'm glad that was fun for everyone. So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What we tentatively called last time out was Border Buster. Seems to have beaten just in a poll and changed its name now to a new set or to the segment, which is going to be called Global Grooves. So we're going from Border Buster to Global Grooves. It was like by 1 vote in Discord. So well done to those that got involved in that. But this is, the whole thing where we aim to explore new music each and every week. And we wanted to bring back more of our 2025 stuff because we do cover a lot of older ground as well. So to that end, there's a reference track in the comments and the description box as always. The song is Peacefield. The band is Ghost. The funniest thing is now I have to wait for Dave to come back because it's his assignment this week. So I'm going to quickly rattle off the bio or the description I do. Oh, Dave's back just in time, which is good. So you got the reference track there, folks. Go and check it out while I read you the introduction here because Dave, I'm going to throw to you in just a moment because it's your time of the night to shine. This is Ghost with Skeleta, 10 tracks, 47 minutes, the 6th studio album from the Swedish band, released April 2025 via Loma Vista. Produced by Gene Walker, also known as Tobias Forg. 3 singles have so far been released from this, including Satanized and Lacrima. All of this has led to this being the band's first to hit number 1 in the US Billboard charts, as well as peaking at number 1 in various other countries, including here in Australia, while peaking at number 2 in the UK. This album sees the unveiling of new figurehead Papa 5 Perpetua and is described as the band's most introspective yet. all in all, Dave, we with this segment, we each pick our album and put it forward for everyone else to review the next week. Dave chose this one last week. So that being said, it's over to you.
Rightio. So I planned to do this last week. And last Tuesday, it was announced that this is the first rock album in 5 years to top the Billboard 200 charts. The last one was AC/DC in 2020. I didn't know what the previous rock album was before that, but that in itself is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Not only that, Skeleta, as far as digital goes, is the number one, well, not digital, but vinyl, number one vinyl album, number one indie store album, independent albums, top rock and alternative albums, top rock albums, top hard rock albums, and is number one in the USA, Sweden, Germany, Australia, Switzerland, Austria, Belgium, and Finland. It is safe to say that Ghost has conquered the fucking world.
Yes.
I'm just happy there's a rock band that has mass appeal and is selling out stadiums. It has been way too long since we've had a band of this caliber. And if you're watching their YouTube channel, they just released their webisodes that they've been doing for the last few years. And it's hinted that this band is going to be touring for at least until the end of 2026. I hope I come to Australia because I got to see this band. I am just happy that there is a rock band that has mass appeal and is selling out stadiums. It has been way too long. Of course, there's always some people in the metal elite that are crying that it's pop, it's not metal. Well, if more pop was like this, I'd be listening to pop. And how many pop albums have guitar solos from Frederick Ackerson from Opeth? So, Usculum Obscenum. If you're a Ghost fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Are they metal? Are they rock? Are they pop? Yes, they are. Cool. Fantastic. At least they're not a one-trick fucking pony. This is an awesome 80s stadium rock album filled with 70s influences, and it doesn't get more better than that. A few weeks ago, we had the debut of the Satanized song and video. We saw the first glimpse of Papa 5 Perpetua. And those who were on the Ghost website and signed up to the mailing list, no sooner had the phrase blasphemy, heresy, save me become an instant earworm. And I was getting an email that said blasphemy, heresy, mystery. You got a link at the time to a pre-sale for a record. No details. At the same time, my mate Ben, if you're watching, you're awesome, mate.
Nice.
He messaged me and he said, check out Spotify, the track listing's been dropped. At the same time, Jade comes running up to me and says, the massive sign that they've had like a 24-hour fucking YouTube channel on has started smoking purple. New Pope has been announced. So a lot of shit was happening, but I was getting an email from this that said blasphemy, heresy, mystery with a link to a pre-sale, which was this, which is the album. But this is only one of 6,000 in the world.
Ooh, special.
Okay, there's four different variants of this, so that actually makes it 1,500. My mate Ben has another type. What makes this special is it's a Zoetrope record. If you don't know what that is, it is you need either a strobe light or a set special effect on your, because when you play it, it will actually move. You will actually see things move while you're watching. It's fucking cool. So one of 1,500 in the world, and I'm really fucking stoked to have that.
Congrats, man.
So, okay. Now, that's all hype. Forget about all that shit. Let's talk about the fucking album. We get to hear, this is different to what we heard from Ghost before, which is expected since we get a new version of the frontman. It happens every album cycle. The two singles they released before this, Satanized and Lacrima, were the most familiar Ghost-sounding songs. Both fit perfectly along classics like Square Hammer and Dance Macabre. The rest of the album has quite a few surprises. Like all Ghost albums, some songs were instant favorites, some are growers. Some just demand attention for either lyrics or music, some for both. But kind of picture a graph of every Ghost song, and for each song you got lyrics, themes, composition, guitars, because I'm a guitar player, emotional impact, cultural significance, intellectual depthness, spirituality, storytelling. All these things that I fucking love that make up me. All these things will charge up to 10 at various different times. Some are instant, some are thinkers, some are growers, but it depends on mood. But once they get there, every song that I listen to will have that same impact. It's the best way I can describe what this band does. I could listen to this album over and over and be drawn to different parts of different songs for different reasons. I've listened to this at least twice every single day since it's been released.
Wow.
Now, unlike the previous 5 albums, this isn't a concept album. This is something very different for Ghost. There's no coming or the arrival, the Antichrist, no exploration of the absence of faith, no plagues or the rise and fall of empires. This time, it's all very personal to Tobias. Each song is its own theme, so it's pretty straightforward songs. Bare bones, Scalita. Get it? It's pretty simple.
Yep.
This is the first time there's no instrumental songs on the Ghost album. To make up for this, some of these songs are longer than what they've done previously, so there's more instrumental sections, which for someone who loves Dream Theater is fucking awesome. And thank you to everyone on YouTube that posts tabs within 5 minutes of these songs going up, because I love learning this shit. Fucking amazing. The composition and playing throughout this is excellent. Some of these solos are jaw-dropping, especially the tapping solo in Senepa. And fuck, the dude from Opeth is a fucking gun. I could, but I won't go through every song. I will mention some personal favorites. Lacrima. Okay, Andrew, you spoke about this one a few weeks ago. This is a favorite song, so I'm going to mention a little bit. This is, you mentioned it's a breakup song. It's actually a song about self-deceit. So he sings, I'm done, with a lot of conviction. It gets more and more. But every time he says, I'm done, it's obviously, no, you're not. No, you're not. You can fucking try and convince us as much as you want, but you're not. You're not. It's instantly catchy and such an earworm. You got heavy riff in the verse and then the melodic AOR in the chorus. It just surges beautifully from one to the other. I love how after the solo, it switches from riffing to lead work towards the closing moments. It's fucking perfect. The solo is brilliant. I love solos that tell a story and follow on from what the lyrics do. I wrote out a lengthy description of the solo, but I won't bore people. I'll just skip it. If you want to know, I'll have a personal conversation with people, because this solo is fucking outstanding. But yeah, I won't bore people. Satanized. I spoke extensively about this a few weeks ago when it came out with Jade. I was completely wrong in my interpretation about what this song is about. Okay. It's actually a love song. It's a love song. Being in love is likened to being possessed by a demon. So listen to it in that context, and it makes perfect sense. Guiding Light. This is a slower song and a nice change of pace. The first of the non-singles that you hear when you listen to this. This is a great old school power ballad with an absolutely beautiful solo. This would be amazing live. There are a few songs on this album that I can relate to, and Tobias said about this song, it's about the non-ability to speak to someone that you know is going in the wrong direction. You don't dare say if you want to say what you have to, but you know if you do, you won't be friends anymore. Now, I've had a few friends in the past where I wanted to point out the bleeding fucking obvious too, but I haven't. And seeing those stories play out, I wish I had. I know I would have lost a friend, probably would have got punched in the face, but they would probably be in a better place, and it would have been worth it at the time. You can't really say, mate, your girlfriend's a slut. Or you're putting your heart and soul into this career that you want to follow, but you suck. You're not good enough. You can't do that. But if you see years later where you fucking should have. Beautiful lyrics in this song. Stuff like, the road to nowhere is long, and those who seek it go there are lost. It's fucking amazing. De Profundis Borealis.
Borealis.
Roughly translate to the Northern Abyss. This was an instant favorite. Such a fun, heavy song. The music grabbed me right away, and then with the misleading piano intro, and then it builds to that driving pace set by the drums, the heavy riffing, the down picking, which would make James Hetfield fucking proud, and then accentuated by those chords to the left to ring. Then the lyrics start, and I'm always drawn to lyrics. I love how the verses and the pre-chorus are darkened and the tone brightens in the chorus. Verse 2 has a line like, all the words that never came out right, within reach but out of sight. All the songs that couldn't mend your heart but slid it up and tore apart. Stop reading my fucking thoughts, Tobias. Stop grabbing stuff from my soul. This scares the shit out of me, how fucking like-minded. I watch interviews with this guy, and it fucking scares me. This song is actually about regret. Nicely done. Fucking beautiful. Centopath. This seems to be the most personal song Tobias has ever written. It's also the happiest song on the album, possibly the happiest Ghost song they've ever done. Ironically and sadly, it appears to be inspired by his older brother who passed away in 2010, the same day Tobias uploaded the first Ghost songs to MySpace. Almost like he couldn't have success that was to come and have his older brother who was a massive influence in his life. If you watch interviews with him, he's always talking about him. He was the guy who introduced him to hard rock music, everything. It's a beautiful, upbeat song with the line, wherever I go, you're always there, riding next to me. Now, as somebody who's also lost a sibling, I can heavily relate to this song. Initially, you're filled with loss and sadness and emptiness. But over time, you start to feel that there is somebody watching over you. I don't know if that's how everybody feels, but it's just something that, it's part of the reason I've despised organized religion and why I've since the age of 8, I've always been questioning the bigger picture in life. And it's no wonder a band like Ghost will appeal to someone like me. I probably think too much and I probably care too much. And where the fuck does that get you? But it's just one of these things that connect me to these songs. And, you know, do you want to be miserable or do you want to move forward? It's the choice that you make. Everyone has choices. And Tobias has made his. And when I first heard the story, Tobias was, I was like, it's like he can't have both. You know, you can't have this massive success that would become Ghost or have your older brother that obviously meant the world to him.
Yeah.
But then I Googled some stuff to get more information. And he said exactly the same thing. It's like, I can't have both. Life is fucked up sometimes, but, you know, do you want to get destroyed by it or are you going to move forward? Make a fucking choice. Anyway, back on track. This song is amazing and the solo is fucking brilliant. If you like that tapping shit, it starts off with one hand with the open pull-offs to the open string, and then he taps and gets bigger and wider, and it's just fucking glorious. Jeff was chatting about it with me earlier, and he said it's got a Queen influence. I get the Queen influence. There's also a Black Sabbath influence with the whole it's shouldn't be great. But yeah, Black Sabbath meets Queen. If you like both those bands, fuck yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, well, that works.
Yeah. I mentioned my mate Ben earlier. The opening song, Peace Fields, the female vocal is actually Tobias's daughter. So I just learned that about an hour before we went live because I was chatting with my mate.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Missioner Amore, unpleasant topic about hate and lust disguised as love. You know, it happens so much. You know, people just get fucked up in the whole perception and outlook on life. But yeah, that's an amazing song. I won't go into many more thoughts about these songs. Everyone can get their own meanings and thoughts on this. You know, you watch the movie that they released last year, you see some people crying, you see some people just happy. It means so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah.
And that's why this band is so amazing. They're playing fucking stadiums and everybody gets something different and everybody is there for the one band. And it's been fucking decades since we've had that. It's so fucking cool. Now, the $1 million question is Skeleta better than Impera? Jade, this is your CD. I am so fucking proud, baby.
That's cool.
Is that better than the previous album? No, not even close. But reverse that. Is Impera better than Skeleta? No, not even close. It is impossible to rank Ghost albums in order of best to worst because they are all so different and diverse. This album, this band, fills an empty part of my soul while at the same time reflecting everything that was already there. It is both serious and silly, and it's really hard to get that balance right. It's fun and entertaining while at the same time listening and dealing and thinking and processing some really dark fucking thoughts. I have no ink yet. I am seriously going to get the fucking clergy tattoo right there.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to happen. My mate Ben has one on his leg, and he has his tattooist as a Ghost fan, and it's going to happen. James
Nice.
Hetfield summed Ghost up perfectly. They are a breath of fresh air for metal. I know the metal elite are crying, they're not metal. Fuck off. That's the end of my sermon. Nima. Now, if you know the lyrics to Ritual, Nima is amen backwards.
Yep.
Nima. 10 out of 10. Standouts of Lacrima, Satanize, De Profundis, Bola, Cenipar, and Umbra, but every fucking thing this band does is absolute gold. Love it.
Wow. It's a hell of a review, Dave. Well done. That is
Thank you.
quite remarkable. And thank you for sharing some of the personal touches in that one as well. It's I like how we all do that in different moments.
Fuck it. Make it personal.
Yeah, that's what music is. Music is personal. It's silly if it's not. Let's go to Jeff next. How'd you go with this one?
Oh, look, I love this album. I think it, I rate the album if it's better than Skeleton or Impera or not. I think it's a more mature album. I think it is. I think it's. I think the songwriting he's matured a little bit, and I think that's good. I think it comes across in the music and certainly the playing. The playing is up a notch over the previous album. There's something about this album actually that reminds me of Prequel. I think it's even though Prequel is like a concept album in a sense, this doesn't have that. But some of the songs, they are more personal. But the playing and stuff reminds me of the playing that we got on that. So that's kind of good because you don't want to, Impera is a great album. You don't want to follow it up with another album that sounds just like Impera. And he could have done that. And that would have sucked because everybody were like, well, great. Give us more songs.
Yeah, part two.
Might as well
do
just
something else.
A double album of Impera. Right. So I'm glad he didn't do that. So love it. It's a great album. Cenotaph is my personal favorite. I love that song. And I think it's, it's a personal song. Obviously it means, his brother, Sebastian. So I'm going to give this 10 shots as well. I really love it. It's great.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. Belle, let's go to you.
Don't look to me for anything detailed. Like,
I know they're not your favorite, so I was wondering.
Yeah. Like I listened to it. I had to listen to it. Like it's not as horrible as I was expecting, but I still do not get what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
Yeah, that's where I stand.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Like we just made the point about music being personal. It comes down to personal taste and how it work for everyone individually.
Like I said, it built my soul.
And that's it. And some people it'll miss completely, and that's just as okay. Like it's all valid. There's nothing there to worry about or to contest, so to speak. This one for me, this is like every album for these guys has taken me a minute to get into, apart from probably Prequel and Impera. Those two just grabbed me from the start, but the rest have taken a minute. I've loved them all. I've loved everything this band has done, but there's always something about them that takes a minute. And what that is there's always a couple of songs on every single album that hooks me and makes me want to come back for more, which is what starts the cycle for me with every Ghost album. And then you get into it, and then you get sucked down the rabbit hole, and away you go.
Yeah, I get that.
This album was back to that form for me, which was actually kind of refreshing in its own way to not have me sort of immediately gushing over it straight away kind of thing. I enjoyed it, but it was like...
It was unsettling the first time I heard it because it's different.
It's the most cool about they've done.
It's the ballsiest thing about this band because you have this massive success with the last album, but then you pull the rug out, you change your frontman, you change your direction, and you become bigger. They
changed everything. Yeah, it was, and it's bold. The two songs on this album that hooked me and kept me coming back for more, and what started that down the drain effect for me were Lacrima and Excelsis, which is a song that's not been mentioned yet. Those two songs are my anchors on this one, and my journey just grows with each listen after that. The beautiful thing about what Ghosts do for me personally is that once those hooks get you in, you're all set for the ride and you're more than happy to keep coming back for more. As a consequence, each and every spin makes you fall more and more in love with the record and as a consequence, the band. This is my point of view. This album is exactly like that for me. So far, this isn't the high tide mark. They set that with Impera and Prequel for me personally. Not that there's any low tide mark, but it's just that's such a fucking high bar to clear. It's like, okay, you're going to keep going there and going there and going there. You're going to have something that sort of just dips off. But that said, I know this is growing on me as I go through things, and my point of view at the end of the year might be extremely different to where I am currently today. I've listened to this one a lot, though. It's just a continuing journey for me at this point in time. I haven't quite finished it yet, if that makes sense. But that said, this has everything you want from this band and more. It gives you those throwback moments. Like Lacrima is a perfect example of a perfect Ghost song. That is their bread and butter, their meat and potatoes, their trademark sound. It's everything you want in a song. That is Ghost. But then you get other songs on here too, like Dave mentioned, things like Guiding Lights, for example, and Excelsis. This album might have the biggest collection of softer songs, as well as being a more 80s influenced album overall, which I think is a good touch. The composition, the feel, everything is there for these guys. The way this band, it's funny because I played Lacrima to my daughter when I was down in Melbourne and the other week, and she said it sounds old. And what I love about this band is that that's not a negative thing because they blend and blur genres and eras with effortless ease.
Yeah, like that the Aussie Black Sabbath thing that's happening. That is what the festivals used to be, but Ghost are the or Sleep Token. Yeah, but there's no other young bands that fit the old mold.
Yeah, that are blurring.
That's what we're fucking missing, and the fact that Ghost are up there playing stadiums gives me hope that they will influence other bands and keep that thread going because everything
are. Yeah,
they have to because everything else is fucking crap.
Well, others may beg to differ, but there is this album, which is this band, and this album is still a special thing. I think this album does take you on a journey. I think the composition, the writing, the performances are all fantastic as always. You just know there's going to be A1 when it's this guy involved in it. But at the same time, the album flow is always fantastic too. This one has the up and down, the peaks and troughs, going to my old drinking game there. This has that in spades, and it's done exceptionally well. This has the rumble, the pulse, the punch, everything you want from these guys. But there's also that air and light in this as well. Just Lacrima alone is just sums up this band in one thing. I do want to touch on Excelsis though, the other one. Now, that's hauntingly beautiful and poignant, and that conversation that's been mentioned earlier about loss. This song is where that hits me the most when you think about people that have gone before, and how it's about the end comes for us all, but somehow finding peace, acceptance, and even community in that inevitability.
Yeah, and don't waste the time that you have.
That you've got, for me, there's always one moment on each album from Ghost that just hits you where it hurts. And for me, that song is that song on this album. And it's also, Dave, you mentioned how you watched the live video from the last concert or the last live DVD they did, and you see people crying. This is a song that will get that same response, I think. This song live will be powerful. I just have no doubt about it. You see people crying before I think people will break down in fucking tears watching this one live, because the whole come with me aspect of that is really quite touching and quite peaceful in its unique little way, which is remarkable. At the end of the day, this band has been touched on, which they just keep expanding their horizons with each and every release they do, and nothing is ever completely alike. And they're one of those bands where I think that was actually a remarkably good comparison, where if you think about a band like Black Sabbath and a band like Queen, you put them in a blender and this is what you get. And I think that it's a special thing, and well done to everyone involved, because there's some guest spots on this one too, and the choir in it too. Like the way they've even changed the imagery, and that, like the way they keep doing this and keep reinventing themselves and keep staying fresh. There is a reason why, which Dave illustrated at the top, this band is literally on top of the world right now, and well deserved to them for being there. I think that it's just rewards for not only this release, but also their body of work up until this point in time as well. It's been building, and now they're there, and I hope they stay there for a long time to come, because this could be a wonderful wave that crashes over the world, and I'd be quite happy to see it. I love this album. I do want to spend more time with it, but I love it to bits already. I know that my score will go up in time as it does with every Ghost album. I always make my top 10s every year, but this one for now is getting 9 shots. Not quite 10, 9 shots from me. Lacrima Excelsis and Mycelia Amori, the Love Bombs one was kind of cool.
Clever song.
Yeah, clever lyrics. Clever lyrics.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that one quite a lot. All right, let's get some comments in before we do the battles here tonight. About my game, Craig said Def win, so there we go. I'm glad more people enjoyed that game. Vinny says Skeleta is the most hard everything album. Even Viagra sales have declined since its release. So there we go. Adrian's going, what's up? Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're keeping well out there too. While I get the screen to actually fucking work properly.
Hey.
Victoria's here saying, agree with all Dave is saying. So there we go. Well, Mark, good to see you. He's gone, hi all. Wasn't going to mention this, but when Phil Collins and Michael Bolton are getting a run, then this is more than appropriate. My favorite cover is an Angie McMahon cover of the Tom Waits song, Take It With Me. A stunningly beautiful song sung by, in my opinion, the best female singer in Australia. Please listen and hopefully enjoy. Okay, there is a link in the comments. People go and find that one. I'll have to go and check that out. I will definitely be happily.
Yeah, I'll check that out later.
This is Ula, by the way. Ah, there we go. Okay, good to see you. Now I know who we're talking to. Good to see you, Mark. Ula in Patreon. So good to have you. Now I know who we're talking to.
All right.
Welcome aboard. Adrian's gone, Dave. I like what you said about moving forward or being miserable. So there we go. There's some nice words there.
Yeah, you have a
Make
choice.
a fucking choice in your life.
Right.
Yeah, you do. Michael says, nice work, Dave. Would have been happy to hear as much guitar nerd info as possible, but respect why you edited yourself.
I can do it if you want.
Okay. Let's leave it to the end, maybe. Adrian has laughed at Bell's take on things. Adrian says, yeah, Ghost sounds like an 80s band. Edge Crusher gone, love the guitar work on this album. The first half of this album is very impressive. 8 shots for me. And Hard Music says, have you heard Repugnant, Tobias, pre-Ghost death metal band? I haven't personally. Okay.
I have.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing them
the
for
solo
the
in Lacrima. Okay. You get some chromatic runs and then a little interlude, and it shifts from here to there. Like the song is about self-deceit. It's like, will I? Won't I? It goes back and forth. There's 5 of these chromatic runs in different sections that it starts. The 5th one is in the middle, and it it goes forward to the rest of the solo. And then as the song continues with the riffs, you get more chromatic runs that go higher and higher, which surges towards the key change towards the end. And you're still saying, I'm done. And then it still runs with these higher and higher. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to progress. But yeah, you're not fooling anyone, dude. You're not done.
Yeah. It's a clever how it does build in a positive or up. It keeps going up like that.
It's clever. It goes higher and higher. The key change is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. It is clever. And even the song title is clever because Lacrima actually means
crying.
Yeah. And of course, he sings crying, in the chorus. Yeah.
Everything has layers with Ghost, and that's part of the fun.
It does. You need to put some thought into it. You can accept it. You can just enjoy it on one level, but then you can go deeper.
You can, and he deliberately puts Easter eggs in the song.
Okay, here's this for fucking Easter egg. Okay, Papa Phi Perpetua is Cardi's twin. Okay, there's more holy references. There's some more positive, religious aspects throughout the lyrics. If you listen, go back to Impera, the song 20s. Okay, I'm number 1. You're number 2. You got a lot of God's work to do.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Everything would be. Yeah.
Here's something as well.
Oh, here we go.
No, sorry, just on what Dave was touching about. Yeah. So, Perpetua, right, means it's Latin for perpetual.
Yeah.
So, is this the end? Is this this is the last one? He's not
changing.
Well,
he's spoken about ending the law, but they're at that point where Ghost is timeless. They're part of pop culture. Even if you don't know any of their songs, you know who this band is. They've entered that whole thing that bands used to be, which is fucking important.
Indeed, sure.
All right. I'm going to keep this moving. We have 2 battles to get through, so let's do it, because Adrian says chromatic runs are cool, but also move on before Bell passes out. So there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're boring Bell with the Ghost.
All right. Let's get into 2 battles tonight. We have 2 to get through. We're doing a make-up for last week and for this week, obviously. First battle, as we have shortened the format, we're going to give 5 reasons why we're picking our albums and why. The battle for us this week is AC/DC Back in Black up against Daath with the Deceivers. I'll put some reference tracks in the comments now, so check those out as we go along if you need to, just for your references there. Well, I'll wait for that one to fucking hurry up. Fucking hell. It's funny how somehow you want to do things quickly and then it doesn't work all of a sudden. But anyway, our first battle tonight is, like I was saying, AC/DC versus Daath. The audience side of things is AC/DC versus Anthrax Worship Music. We'll get to that as the results go on. But first of all, let's get to Daath versus AC/DC. Comebacks come in many forms. Sometimes it's a resurrection after years in the shadows. Other times it's a defiant return in the face of tragedy. In this week's battle, or this round's battle, we pit two seismic returns against each other, albums that marked a line in the sand for their creators. In one corner, we have Back in Black, the thunderous all-time classic from AC/DC, born from heartbreak after Bon Scott's untimely death. This 1980 juggernaut didn't just revive the band, it launched them into rock immortality. It's one of the biggest-selling albums of all time and a blueprint for bands and albums to come. On the other side of the ring, we have the Deceivers from Daath, their first full-length release in over a decade. Emerging from the ashes of silence, they've re-entered the fray with sharpened teeth, progressive firepower, and a modern take on extreme metal precision. It's a comeback fueled not by nostalgia, but by evolution and ambition. Both are solid returns, both are vital in their own way to the band's respective careers, but which one lands for us here tonight? Belle, you chose Daath a while back to make it into proceedings here, and as it is the lower seed with AC/DC being the number one seed as chosen by the audience, we'll throw to you first to give us your thoughts on this battle, please.
Sure. This is an odd one for me as well. Like it's kind of my musical journey, like where I started to where I'm at now. Not completely, cool. But it's a pretty good kind of, I don't know, it just, and, you know, music in general, how it's changed. But yeah, for me, like
people change too.
This album and this band got me into this genre, and kind of this is where I'm at, you know, in terms of how heavy I like things. Anyway, so I thought the only way I could really make a true determination on who to pick was to listen to both albums back to back, and I didn't do that. I didn't get to do that. You know, it just didn't happen. So I thought, so yeah, what am I going to do? I like both equally for different reasons, and it's really hard. So I thought, well, I've got to pick one, right? So who am I going to pick? It's a bit unfair that I should pick AC/DC, but they have stood the test of time. Well, this album has stood the test of time. I don't know if in 45 years people will still be listening to the Deceivers album. Probably not. I mean, I don't know, but maybe, probably not. So I'm going to pick AC/DC Back in Black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well said.
Nicely done. Well done, Belle. All right. I'm going to go next on this one. I'm going to reverse order on the next battle as we go through things. It's funny because I could go on a revenge tour after the Daath knocked out Anthrax, but I'm not going to. Just for the record, I'm not going to.
I'm sorry. I was being a cunt.
Oh, good. I'm having fun. But these are two very different albums, but that makes this an interesting battle. Both are very dark in different ways. One reaches into the depths of hell. The other one channels the bleakest of tragedies into something remarkable. Yeah. Both are hard-hitting in their own way. Both also have some serious signature moments on them. One is clearly much more musical to my ears, however, the other one, but neither are lacking in impact. And that's the important thing about both the albums for me. They're both loved by their fan bases. One here rose to the top in one way because it came out of the ashes of something that was horrible, and then they made it something bigger than ever been imagined up until this point. Like what AC/DC did to in such a short turnaround too. Like you were talking less than 2 years. They did Highway to Hell, had Bon Scott die, and then flipped the script and come Back in Black. New vocalist, new everything, and I don't know how they even did that. Like AC/DC in that regard, they channeled the brutality of life into something both dark and light, something that channels the very essence of life and rock in its own way. Daath is an exercise in sheer beautiful brutality, which is just as valid and important in the world of music, as we all have our own journeys to go on. For me, though, it's the balance, the use and the inspiration from the dark and the light that wins me. As beautiful and brutal as Daath is, compared to AC/DC, it's more of a one-trick pony by comparison. Not that it is, but just by comparison, there's
it is.
diversity. So for me, I'm going to go with AC/DC, Back in Black. How they pulled the one out of the fire is fucking beyond me. Not only did they come back from the brink after a massive disaster, they went on to create one of the biggest and best albums of all time. Like, fuck me. Talk about turning, negative into positive. That's a case point right there. Next up, we'll go to Jeff, and Dave will get the final word.
Look, you guys have already said pretty much everything I'm going to say. There's no question that that the album that we got after the passing of Bon Scott, AC/DC, basically, I mean, that could have destroyed a band. And somehow they dug within themselves. They got a replacement who actually was the guy that had recommended, if anything should ever happen to me, get this guy, from Geordie. And they did, and they got him. And wow, I mean, transformed the band. I mean, they were big, and then suddenly they get a new singer after the tragedy, and they become the biggest band in the world. There's no question that Back in Black is an iconic album from a band that maybe, just maybe, we'll never know, but maybe had Bon Scott not died, AC/DC would never have gotten to the heights that they got to, because they wouldn't have put out that album. I don't know. We'll never know. I mean, that's a speculation, right? But it's I think it should be, if you've never heard this album, and fucking what rock are you living under if you've never heard this album? But if you haven't, my gosh, just stop watching this stream right fucking now, I'm gonna say, and go and listen to it, okay? Because it's that much of an important album. It's just an amazing album, and there's not a bad song on it, not a skippable track. Every fucking song is a banger, and that's why it is sold how many, 50, 60 million albums? It's fucking insane. 10 million, whatever. I think that's
tens of millions.
Just 10 million? No,
tens of millions.
I was going to say 10 million. No fucking way. Tens of million. Yes, tens of million. I think the last time I actually looked up, it was 40 million or something. That was years ago. So it's gone on. It's still selling. So look, it's just a great iconic album. So then on the flip side of that, we've got this band called Daath. Now, Bell mentioned, will people be listening to this in 45 years? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? The way the world's going, we don't know.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
See if there's a world.
Fucking miserable.
Yeah, there may not even be a world. So who knows? But look, these guys, it's not to be. It's a shame that they went up against such an iconic juggernaut. I mean, it's just an absolute massive band and album. Because it's a really good fucking album. I was so surprised, and I had never heard them. Thank you, Bill. And and it was just like, wow, these guys are really good. I love the darkness. I love that. It was just packaged in this beautiful package of. It was like watching like an amazing horror film that you just go, wow, that was awesome. I want to watch that again. And of course, you listen to it again. So I really, really like what they've done. Plus, they're outside of what that genre makes in music. There's some really amazing players. The guitar player is fucking incredible. So you get a lot of good stuff coming here. And it's more than just blast beats and shit like that. As I've said, I went on the record before and said, I think blast beats are crap. I don't like them, but they can suit a song. And so, and I think that they found a way to blend those two and do it justice. So that's really good. And as I said, it's a shame that it went up against such a juggernaut, because maybe on a different round, it might have actually went on for me. But I think this is I think this goes saying, I don't know where Dave's going to go, but I have to go with AC/DC Back in Black. So it could be a fait accompli. I don't know, but we'll stay tuned, folks.
Yeah,
you're about to find out. So
we are.
AC/DC gets my vote.
Nice. All right, cool. Dave, is it a sweep?
Oh, okay. Let's start with Daath. No, look, in all honesty, with Daath, look, it took a decade between albums. Honestly, if I wrote the same shit in every fucking song, I'd probably be bored shitless and would take a fucking decade to write another album as well. You're a one-trick pony at best. You're fucking boring as shit. AC/DC were often joked about releasing the same album that sounds exactly the same. In reality, they had a style, they had a formula, and they were able to stick to that for their entire career, which was like 40, 50 years, song after song, album after album, decade after decade. They all sound different. You know, You Shook Me All Night Long sounds nothing like Back in Black. Okay, fucking, I could go song after song, but they all sound like AC/DC. Daath have speed, technique, and aggression. Lyrics and songs, fuck that shit. That ain't important. It's all about energy and technical execution. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Boring. Ironically, bands like Daath are often praised, and for exactly the same shit I've listened to for at least 2 decades that Dream Theater got criticized for. The difference being Dream Theater could actually write memorable songs, and it's funny how things change over time because bands like Daath are just fucking wonderful these days. Fuck that. Ultimately, this comes down to one thing. Technique versus songs. I like songs. AC/DC win. It's not even a fucking contest. Easy.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. It's a brutal sweep. Yep. So there we go. No prisoners taken in this one. That's where it is, which means we go over to the audience side of things now, because the audience battle was AC/DC Back in Black versus Anthrax Worship Music. And wasn't quite a sweep in that one. That was a bit of a tighter battle. Not tight, though. 75% of the vote went to AC/DC. So we are back on parity with the audience. So that makes that an interesting one. So what that does is next week, that lines us up to Def Leppard Hysteria is going up against Back in Black from AC/DC. That's next week in the first round out of 3 next week. So that's going to be interesting next week. That's what that sets up.
Yeah.
Is that for us?
That's for us and the audience.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Yep.
Right.
We're all on parity now. So
that's good.
We'll be on parity on that one. We'll see what happens with the next round, because we're going to do that now. So next up, I'm going to put some more reference tracks in the comments for you all to go and check out. So bear with me for just a moment here. That's one. There's your Iron Maiden track, and now we're going to get your Alice in Chains track in there. Once that fucking thing stops cycling. But anyway, as you all know, this is the next battle. So round 2 tonight is, which is round 6 overall, is going to be Iron Maiden, Brave New World versus Alice in Chains, Black Gives Way to Blue. The number 2 seed, the number 7 seed going in this one. When my little preamble for this one is, when Titans fall silent or splinter apart, the return is always loaded with expectation and a touch of fear. Will the fire still burn? Will the magic return? This week, 2 heavyweights step into the arena, each with a comeback that reshaped their legacy. In one corner, Brave New World, Iron Maiden's triumph in 2000 return with Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith back in the fold. Not only did it reunite the classic lineup, it revitalized the band's creative spark. Epic, bold, and distinctly Maiden, this was no nostalgia trip. It was a declaration. On the other side of the coin, though, we have Black Gives Way to Blue, Alice in Chains' deeply emotional and heavy as hell return in 2009. Marking their first full album since the death of Lane Staley, it introduced William DeVille and proved that the soul of the band could endure. This was grief, growth, and grit in sonic form. Both albums carried the significant weight of history. Both proved something exceptionally powerful, but only one will go through to the final week next week. So let's get into it. Reversing the order. So Dave, you get to go first.
Okay. So Iron Maiden versus Alice in Chains. This is probably one of the best fucking matchups we've had in one of these battles. Simply because this is 2 very, very distinct, iconic bands in very different genres. Alice in Chains, which in my opinion is easily the best fucking band that came out of Seattle in the early 90s. I wouldn't even call them a grunge band because everything they did was on purpose. Whereas you have the legendary, iconic Iron Maiden, which pretty much personifies, along with Judas Priest, what heavy metal was all about. So, I love both of these bands. And I despise a lot of the fucking grunge shit, but Alice in Chains were really unique. I could listen to those early albums, but then to come back with Black Gives Way to Blue, which we spoke about extensively before. But then obviously if you were alive in 1999 going to 2000 and everything was fucking alternative rock and new metal, and then Iron Maiden announced that Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson in the back, and every cover of every fucking heavy metal magazine had Iron Maiden, the 6-piece lineup. Like, who has a 6-piece lineup back then? That was fucking cool in itself. But then Iron Maiden brought everything that was cool from the 80s and the early 90s into the 2000s, as well as creating something new. And it didn't have to resort to the down tuning, the rap metal, the fucking all the crap. They just created something unique, and they became more prog. If you paid attention during the Blaze Bailey era, they brought what they were trying to do then into their new sound, and they perfected it with everything on this album. This album has everything that they were known for. It has the influences from movies that they bring into their lyrics. It has the whole metal isn't in its infancy anymore in 2000. We have this song called Blood Brothers. It's a fucking culture. Even if it's not recognized in the mainstream like it was anymore, it's also important globally. And you can be the only motherfucker in your job, in your school, in your life, in your family that likes this shit, but you know that you're part of this massive culture that is global and it's important. So this song like Blood Brothers makes something really fucking special. And then they follow it up with the Rock in Rio with 40,000 motherfuckers singing Fear of the Dark. That one's fantastic. So Maiden brought everything that was cool about metal into the 2000s. The simple fact is that metal would not be what it is today if it wasn't for this album. Fact. So easy win for Maiden. This is an absolutely perfect album. Probably one of the best that they've ever done in their career.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
1 down, 3 to go. Jeff, you're up.
All right. Well, look. Yeah, this is interesting. So 2 iconic bands. Both have, one has lost a singer, one singer has left. I mean, where would you rather be? I think I'd rather be the guy who left than the guy fucking that just, he's no longer breathing. Yeah, so that's a shame, right? So
heroin's a bitch.
It is. So look, I think everyone thought that at that point, Alice in Chains, done, gone. Where are you gonna find another singer to replace Lane? I mean, the guy was just iconic. Iconic voice. Yeah. Just amazing voice. And we saw what happened to Nirvana. We saw, what happens when you lose your main singer, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Band's done. So it was kind of like that with Alice in Chains. And, we didn't expect to see anything. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we hear in the rumblings that, and very little fanfare, that they found a new singer. Okay, great. Those of us, it wasn't like announced, like, hey, we got a new singer and we're going to put a new album out. It was just sort of like,
understated.
It was very brief, and it came very close to when the album actually dropped. So that was pretty amazing. And then when that album dropped, it was like, holy fuck, like this sounds like Lane. The guy can do the same song, got the same style of voice. Yep. He matches up with Jerry's voice, because Jerry has a very distinct voice as well. So when they harmonize, they can harmonize perfectly. And he plays guitar as well, and so like the guy's good. And so Black Gives Way to Blue is a phenomenal album, comeback album, if you want to call it that, because really it is, and that's why it's in this battle. For them to come back in the way that they did, they left on a high note, and unfortunately, due to poor circumstances, the album that came out, and then they've come back with another album that is just wow. So it's just wow. And then we've got the other side of the coin here. So we've got Iron Maiden. Bruce has left the band in '93, and he basically it was pretty much, I thought it was, everything everyone thought. He's gone, because he had a very successful solo career.
Yeah.
And then Iron Maiden releases their first album, The X Factor, in '95. It was meant to be shortly after Bruce left, but happened that Blaze got into a car accident, fucked his leg up, and so everything got delayed. Right now,
Speedo 666.
that's it. So imagine, so if that had not happened, I think everything happens for a reason. I think that because Bruce's career was going very well. If you look at '97 with Accident at Birth and '98, the Chemical Wedding, and of course the Skunk Work stuff that he had done prior, everything was going up, 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 up. The guy was really showing no sign of slowing down. So, and so by the end of the '90s, Maiden was pretty much fucking dead. Like that. Blaze, that album, Virtual 11, is a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. It's
didn't
got
help the band in their history at
song
all.
on it, really, and a half of it. Like, I like Future Real and The Klansman is great, but you take every other song on that is just trash. And it does not sound like Maiden. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking when they put that out. But hey, so I think their career was on a down, and I don't know if it was they reached out to Bruce and thought, hey, we got to do something here. Management's probably thinking, we got to do something because this is not, we can't continue. There's too much of a fucking legacy to just throw it down with shit albums like this. Because the next album, if you do this again, fucking fans are just going to flush the toilet and it's going to be gone. You're going to be, doing fucking concerts in Vegas, singing, in lounge. And that's the fucking death of anything, right? So that's not what Maiden is about. And so I don't exactly know the story. I'm sure somebody out there maybe knows how it all began and how the wheels started turning again and got greased.
Go.
What?
Come on.
Sorry.
No, just keep going. Go.
So anyway, so look, for me, it's just, I think everything happened for a reason. I think that Maiden is just this album is an amazing album. And it was the return to form for them. And I think, as you said, it started kind of like a revolution for them in their career. So my vote is, without further ado, Iron Maiden, Brave New World.
Yep.
Done.
Cool. Getting close, pumping the clock, so I'll be quick. I just want to say this one's nightmare fuel for me. I love both these albums to fucking death. I fucking can't not listen to them. I love them. I've listened to them both. Ever since I heard them, they came out, I just non-stop, they've been in my rotation for years and years and years and years and years. Where one is channeling sort of grief, despair, light, all that sort of stuff. The other one is just pure, unadulterated joy and exaltation. Both are equally powerful, though. Both sound great. Both have fantastic lyrics and storytelling, all those things, performances, production there, but you can't compare them on execution. So for me, I had to go another way on this battle. I think Alice in Chains, for me personally, I know it's been covered, but for me, at listening to it, I don't get tired of it because it's pure catharsis. That makes me feel better listening to it. It actually sends me to a better place when I listen to that album. It makes me feel better at the end. As sad as it is, it's released for me. I know not everyone gets it, but for me, it's a gem of an album. When it comes to Iron Maiden, that one, though, is a complete counterpoint because it's pure joy and inspiration when you listen to it. It feels and truly is triumphant in every single way possible that a record can be.
Yeah.
Not an easy battle for me personally, like really not. A part of me is heartbroken when one of these albums gets knocked out, but it's all part of the fun. But I still get to go and listen to it. It's not like it's dead, but it's just like you want both your kids to go through kind of thing, but they can't. They're both not only important albums in these bands' careers, but also important albums for me because they're both some of my favorite albums in each band's respective discographies as well. I think they're two of the better albums of both bands. In the end, though, you got to make a choice, and so I went from darkness into light with this one, and I'm choosing inspiration over catharsis. For me, it's Iron Maiden for the win. As much as I love Alice in Chains, it is just you got to make a decision, which means Belle. Now you get to decide if it's a sweep or if there's dissent.
Oh, well, it's easy for me. So easy. Yeah. One I like listening to and the other I don't. So Iron Maiden for the win.
Well, there we go. That's easy.
That was good.
But that's actually the first time I've done 2 rounds back to back, both been sweeps. There's a bit of history. We've never done that before. Never ever done that.
History made tonight.
Yep. which means the audience had the same challenge. The audience had to do the same thing. It was a bit tighter this time around. 65% of the vote won it, and that again went to Iron Maiden, which means that next week it is Rammstein Untitled up against Iron Maiden Brave New World. Fucking hell, why are these albums that I love so much going up against each other? So there we go. That's next week's 2 previous rounds, and then we have the 3rd round at the end where the winner of those 2 go on. So next week it's 3 rounds in 1 to knock over the end of the season. So just to recap, it is going to be Hysteria versus Back in Black and Untitled versus Brave New World for both us and for the audience. So we are back in parity in every single way. I'm going to get to comments later on if I get a chance to, because like I said, it is pumpkin o'clock. So next week we have all the usual stuff here, but the backyard banger is Dave. Hidden Intent Terraforms. That's Dave's one next week. We have Fretboard Feud, which is April 85 albums. Bell has the game to play next week. And Jeff, we need you to announce your Global Groove album for next week. So what are you putting forward?
Yeah, Global Grooves. Stay tuned because you're going to get a wonderful groovy review, I guess, of fuck, now it's like left my brain. Dream Theater's last album.
Cool.
What's it fucking called?
Hey,
Parasomnia.
Parasomnia. Yeah, fucking brain fart. What happens?
It happens to all of us, man. It
Yeah.
happens to all of us.
Yeah, with age, it gets more and more. You know, wake up sometimes. I forgot my fucking name. Anyway, Dream Theater,
wake up.
Parasomnia.
Wake up.
Yeah.
19 minutes, 28 on the last song.
Yeah. There we
Don't
go.
spoil it. They don't spoil it. That's
Yeah, well, next week that'll be fun. Jeff is going to lead the card.
Andrew, in 4 weeks' time, put me down for Wednesday 13.
Okay, will do. I'll lock that away for you as well. Alrighty, so that means that one's there, and the King of the Riff finale is next week as well. You can check us out on telly and all the usual stuff. 10:30 p.m. Thursday nights, Channel 44 in Adelaide. 10:30 p.m. Saturday nights, Channel 31 in Melbourne. All that stuff online. We have Patreon. We have all the stuff, description, links, and all that sort of shit in the box as usual. I will skim through the comments later on, but I don't think we'll get to any more tonight because we do need to get out of here. But before we do have to finish off by raising a glass to something this week. So, Jeff, let's throw to you first. Hopefully you made a list for yourself at last. What are you raising a glass to this week?
Yeah, because I can't remember shit, right? We know this. And it happens, like, you know, when I try to remember stuff. So, yeah, I need to write shit down. But this one's a little bit different because I'm raising a glass to my new guitar, which I am picking up tomorrow. And, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And just playing and enjoying making music with it. It's something that I've been wanting for a while, and a deal has come along that I can't really pass up. So,
nice.
It's a nice guitar.
What is it?
It's a Yamaha.
Okay, cool.
It's a Yamaha guitar. It's a Yamaha Revstar Standard, which is a beautiful guitar. It's got carbon fiber support in the neck. It's just like, you can't even, you know how you're playing, you know, and you can push against the body, and you can't do that with this. It's that solid.
Cool.
So, but it's
pickups or humbuckers?
It's humbuckers, but there's a P90 version. Two.
Nice.
Yeah.
No
There's
pickup in the middle.
Version, but I'm not getting the P90. What?
No pickup in the middle. No
pickup in the middle. So it's got a bridge, and it's got a bridge and neck pickup, and
nice.
It's got a 5-way switch, and it's got on the tone. It's got it's an out of phase switch, so you pull it, and it doesn't change the pickup phase sort of thing, like going from humbucker to single coil, which you get a lot. Some of my other guitars do that, but this just changes it changes the sound completely. A tonal thing, and it does it passively, so that it uses the power from your amp to do it as it goes through the chord. So it's pretty cool. Nice. Yamaha, and it's a nice looking guitar. They based it on the
color,
the stripes, the bike stripes.
What color?
It's black with like gray
stripes
going through.
Send us a photo.
I'll send you a photo. I will send you a photo when I get it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, sorry, I didn't interrupt.
That's all right. All good.
Go ahead. Yep.
Dave, raise a glass.
I got two. I bought a new car.
Wow, congrats.
Hey!
There you go. There you go.
It's a Hyundai Tuscan. It's a big motherfucker. I can sit at
know,
traffic
man.
lights and look on the
Yeah.
top of other people's cars.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
Congrats,
it's
dude.
been a long time coming. So it's definitely
Yeah, no,
needed.
that must feel fucking good. So well done, man.
They're very nice,
Mm.
very well built.
Oh, it's a relief not walking to work anymore.
Yeah.
Have you already
Which
got
one?
it? Or you
What's
get
the other
it?
one?
No, I got it. I picked it up Monday.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Yeah, and
Cool.
number 2, 15 years being married today.
Oh,
Wow. Happy
congratulations!
anniversary to you and
Happy
Julia, man.
anniversary.
Congrats. That's
Obviously,
awesome.
my priorities are fucked up because I did a live stream instead.
You could have told me, man. It's all right. I would have fucking worked it out. Oh.
But made a decision. All good.
Mhm. Well, congrats to you and Julia. And here's to
Yes.
15 and many more beyond that. So
15
congrats to you
more.
both. That is fantastic. All righty. Belle, what are you raising a glass to this week?
Oh, I've got nothing.
No.
So I'll just say here's to being able to work from home 3 days a week out of my 5 days a week working.
Oh, I love that.
Hey,
That would be nice.
that's
That would be
awesome. Yeah, great.
I wish I could mix wax in my bathtub.
nice. That could be dangerous. But anyway, all right.
Could be.
My one here is a sentimental one because for those who know, we had like a week off last week, so I didn't get to do it last week. But I went down to Melbourne the other weekend, and you guys have seen photos because I fucking spoiled you guys. But the raising a glass is to the simple things like spending time with family and meeting new members of your family. So went down to Melbourne, went for a family member's wedding and had some fun there. But the biggest highlight for me, that was a great highlight, but the biggest one was meeting my granddaughter for the first time. So Elliot was fucking fantastic. You guys saw the very first photo. So the second she was put in my arms is the photo you guys saw. When she looks back and smiles at the camera, she's a gun of a kid. So she's doing great. And to my daughter, Tori, you're doing a great job with her. So all things going well there. And it was just fantastic to go and hang out with.
That first moment, that first photo.
Yeah.
I got that one with Jade.
Yeah. It's special, isn't it, man? So you can't take those ones back. So no, I'm grateful for that and will forever be grateful for that. And I'm looking forward to watching her grow up as the years progress. Alrighty, that'll do it, folks. I'm gonna get through the comments as we get out of here. I will do them as I'll actually read the comments, but I'll do it offline because it's now pumpkin o'clock. Time to get out of here and let everyone get to bed. We do have a self-imposed curfew of 11 p.m. It's 5 minutes to. Time to go. But thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all again, same time, place next week. And if you want to check out more, check out our Patreon page because there's more stuff you can watch behind the scenes there too. Until next time, though, thank you to all of you guys here with me tonight. Thank you to Jody behind the scenes. But Belle, at the bottom of the screen, thank you for your efforts tonight. Really do appreciate you jumping in tonight. Big thank you to Jeff on the other side while the cat tries to kill something in the wall. Big thank you to Jeff in the opposite corner. A big thank you to Dave beside me. You got through it, and Jade's warning wasn't as bad as I was expecting. So well done to you and Jade for letting us get through tonight. And a big thank you to all of you watching at home. Until next time, though, you know what to do. I'm Andrew. As always, folks, we'll see you soon. Until then, drink up. Rock on.
Drink.
Cheers.
Talk.